according to a report cited by President Joe Biden, was 6 weeks pregnant and traveled to Indiana to receive an abortion. Mr. Jordan's statement was, another lie, anyone surprised?
Without objection.
I'd also like to put into the record from today's Wall Street Journal, from the editorial board, correcting the record on a rape case, and it's the Journal correcting its own misstatement the day before.
Without objection.
So yesterday, Ms. Warbelow, speaking of disinformation, Jim Jordan called a 10-year-old rape victim a liar. A 10-year-old rape victim was called a liar by the ranking member of this committee. And I know that he did that because he hates the president. It's clear every day from his statements and the statements from MAGA Republicans that they don't like Joe Biden, so they're going to call him a liar.
MAGA Republicans.
That's fine. But what is worse is the reason that he did it is because he doesn't like
Shut up, Swalwell.
what that rape victim represents, which is that this law from the Supreme Court, Dobbs, and the laws that will follow in states like Ohio and Texas and Georgia and other states will bring us government-mandated pregnancies for 10-year-olds, fourth graders, little girls. And to deflect from that, they choose to bully and beat up
What's up, buddy?
transgender individuals who represent fewer than 1% of Americans.
What's up, Sanchez?
And they try and deflect that because they don't want anyone in America to realize that they don't just want to wage a war on women, they're now expanding it to a war on little girls. So, Ms. Warbelow, let's go back to where we started here. Can a little girl, should a little girl make the decision to have a forced government pregnancy? Should she ever be put in that position?
Should she be put in a position to have an
abortion?
abortion?
In consultation with her parents and her medical providers to make the decision that is in her best interest.
And under this current law, does she have the opportunity to make that decision?
She does not under Ohio law.
What's up, Hope?
Mr. Chairman, again, this is not about someone's ability to make a kitchen table decision with their family. It's about MAGA Republicans who want to control not just women, but little girls, and to put us into an era of government-mandated pregnancies without the opportunity to make that important kitchen table decision that will affect them for the rest of their life. And I yield back.
No notification, huh? Weird.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The majority starts the hearing with the lie that there's a constitutional right to killing unborn children. There never has been that right, and nowhere in our founding documents or the Constitution does a constitutional right exist to murder an unborn child. In fact, the opposite is present, and Mr. McClintock touched on it, but I'm going to elaborate. In the 5th and 14th Amendment to the Constitution, there is a constitutional right for any person to not be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, in 2 different amendments. Certainly an unborn child is a person. I'm not sure what else it would be. And I'm tested to see if the other side's going to ignore the science that the child in the womb is not a person. Therefore, that person shall not be deprived of life pursuant to our Constitution, and certainly not the opposite where they can be murdered. And there's been a lot of talk today about freedom. And there is no freedom to murder an innocent life, a person that was duly recognized under our Constitution. And the majority of the Supreme Court made this clear in stating, and I quote on page 25 of the opinion, its inescapable conclusion is that a right to abortion is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions. On the contrary, an unbroken tradition of prohibiting abortion on pain of criminal punishment persisted from the earliest days of the common law until 1973. And then on page 69 of the opinion, they hold, we therefore hold that the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. Roe and Casey must be overruled, and the authority to regulate abortion must be returned to the people and their elected representatives. Since Roe v. Wade, over 63 million children have been slaughtered in an incorrectly decided decision. But finally, the issue has been returned to the elected representatives where it belongs, to right this wrong and give back the right to life guaranteed to every person in our Constitution. And we should be thankful today for the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs and everyone who made it possible, and that includes our witness today, Mrs. Foster. And I want to thank you for your commitment to life, and the work that led to the decision in Dobbs. And I want to personally thank you for your courage for being here. I want to thank you, and I know it's tough up here, but know that hundreds of millions of Americans stand behind you, that we're praying for you, and that there is a large amount of support out there for you. And I had a list of questions for you, but a couple of questions ago, Mrs. Scanlon leveled a host of inaccurate disinformation about pregnancy centers. And so I would like to give you the remaining time that I have left if you would like to respond to any of that, or I can ask you the questions that I have for you, whichever direction you would like to go.
There's a lot I would like to respond to.
You've got 2 minutes and 16 seconds to respond.
Great, yeah. First, Representative Scanlon seems to be almost talking about Planned Parenthood when she's talking about pregnancy centers. Deceptive, well-funded, coercive, that defines Planned Parenthood, and it defines big abortion. And it seems to me that she's getting her information from the same place that a previous representative did on her info about my organization, because in fact we don't take a stance on contraception. So that would be something that I would certainly recommend looking further into. But then further than that, preteen pregnancies, they are high risk and they fit the life exception. And so that isn't actually an abortion, because the primary intent is to save the girl's life. An abortion is the intentional ending of a human life in the womb prior to birth, and that's not what would be going on there. But I ask, really, how do we know about this little girl? Instead of re-victimizing her in front of the nation, here in Congress, on C-SPAN, why aren't we talking about the real issue here? Why aren't we talking about rape? Why aren't we talking about holding her rapist accountable? Instead, abortion and rape are both symptoms of the same violent ideology that says that we can violate others to achieve our own goals and fulfill our own desires. And I work alongside people who have experienced the most horrific sexual violence imaginable, and they understand that transcending these ills and overcoming them starts by refusing to perpetuate or to justify further violence. That is what this hearing should be about. We should be talking about that. We should be talking about helping women, giving women the resources that we need. We need to be talking about how we can work together in a bipartisan way to help our nation's people, to help all Americans, and make sure that we all have equal rights, equal human dignity, and instead we're just, casting stones and throwing spears and trying to intimidate the Supreme Court into regretting a decision that is completely constitutional and restores America's most fundamental human right to life.
Thank you for being here today. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Ms. Garcia.
Thank you, Mr.
So do I,
Chairman, and thank you for bringing us together for this very important, very critical hearing. And I want to thank all the witnesses for being here today. Justice Thomas has de facto given the green light for the conservative-controlled states in our nation to continue a crusade against the liberties and freedoms of every individual that is not male, white, and straight. They started with women, throwing us back to the dark ages, treating us as property and cattle, forcing us to give birth against our will, treating
like
us
cattle.
as subjects
Wow.
and handmaids at the service of the government. Next, it will go against gays, lesbians, transgender individuals, and the LGBTQ community.
Lies.
The Texas Republican
That's just them
Attorney
trying to scare
General has
everybody.
already expressed in no uncertain terms that he has a full intention of litigating in favor of overturning Lawrence v. Texas. Now, this case started in my district. Back then, it was in 1988, the arrest of Mr. Lawrence was at a resident of what is now my district, and it was all about keeping the government's reach outside of people's bedrooms and their intimate lives where it should stay. It's regrettable that our Attorney General is already thinking about doing something about that. Republicans who claim to believe in small government and their never-ending hypocrisy are weaponizing the state to criminalize the most intimate aspects of our lives. What happens between two consenting adults in the privacy of their homes is no one's business. Religion is not a basis for public policy. I am a Catholic, but we must keep our rosaries for prayer and not to restrain from their liberties. I thank the witnesses for coming, and I want to start with you, Professor Murray. Is it extreme that anti-abortion activists have been responsible for at least 11 murders, 26 attempted murders, 42 bombings, 194 arsons?
Why don't we
and
talk about
thousands
what
of
your
incidents of criminal activities directed at
pro-choice
abortion
people have
providers
done?
Since 1977?
That's hardly anything since
It is
1977.
extreme. I find it really interesting that the Republicans in this hearing have emphasized the protests against the Supreme Court justices and individuals exercising their First Amendment rights in a peaceful manner, when in fact we have since 1977
Why would she cut her
a long
hair so
history
short like
of
that?
actual violence against those who provide abortions and those who seek abortion care. I will also note that in 2014, the Supreme Court of the United States in McCullen versus Coakley invalidated a law that the people of Massachusetts enacted through their legislature to provide a 30-foot
Look how many times she's
35-foot
blinking.
buffer zone
She's lying.
between abortion clinics and protesters so that individuals could enter those clinics in a peaceful manner to make decisions about their health care. The Supreme Court invalidated that, subjecting those individuals to the protests and disagreements and in often many cases the intimidation of those who oppose abortion.
Look at this.
That's part of the
Liars tend to
They don't
blink
wanna
more
buffer
because
some
lying
of
is
the
stressful.
abortion
Under
providers'
stress,
centers.
eye blink rate
But they want some
increases,
type of buffer
and people tend to
zone
blink
around
more
their homes
rapidly.
when they're eating. I mean, should we just make them a little bubble boys?
Look how often
and
she's
girls so
blinking.
They can just go and be protected in a bubble.
I mean, the court emphasized that the protesters at abortion clinics were
But they're both
exercising
blinking,
their
like,
First
super
Amendment rights
fast.
in a
They're
peaceful
lying.
manner. I do not condone violence in any way, but I agree with the court that those who wish to exercise their First Amendment rights peaceably should be able to do so.
Well, I agree with you. I don't condone any violence, and I, in fact, am a former judge, and I, in fact, have had death threats. But I just feel that I've always had law enforcement. I've always had people who can protect you, and people have a right to protest. They have a right to be here, particularly if they're staying in public sidewalks. So thank you for that. And do you think that there's anything that would, I keep hearing this whole notion of it needs to go back to the elected representatives. Well, last time I checked, I was an elected representative.
That is exactly right, Representative Garcia. I want to correct Representative McClintock's statement that this does not augur the prospect of a federal ban on abortion. Justice Kavanaugh, on pages 2 and 3 of his concurring opinion in Dobbs, makes clear that this simply returns this issue to the prospect of democratic deliberation in the states and Congress. Those are the words of this opinion. This will surely come to Congress if there is a Republican majority.
Thank you for that. And Mr. Chairman, I want to, for the record, introduce the National Abortion Federation Center's report dated May 19, 2022, listing all the violence against abortion providers since 1977.
Without objection,
Thank you.
the gentlelady's time has
I yield back.
expired. Mr. Tiffany.
Thank you. Mr. Warbelow, did you have personal security to attend here today?
I did not, but I do have a security as
Thank you for
part
that
of my
question,
job.
or thank you for that answer.
What
Ms.
does
Foster,
that have to do with it?
we heard about targeting low-income people. Could you give us just a brief tutorial on Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood and their history?
Margaret Sanger is one of the most noted eugenicists in our nation's history, if not the world's history. She believed in targeting minority populations, believed in targeting populations with disabilities, all kinds of just backwards, undemocratic thinking. She also founded Planned Parenthood, which today does the lion's share of all abortions in America.
And isn't it true that Nazi Germany actually invited her ilk to their country pre-World War II?
They did.
Yeah. What effect would you talked earlier about the so-called Women's Health Protection Act of 2022 that failed in the United States Senate. Could you comment on how the impact on state governments that bill would have?
It would even go beyond Roe. Roe stripped away protections in all 50 states, even the states that had already moved to liberalize abortion law. It stripped away protections in every single state, protections like informed consent, protections like if you name it, if it was on the books, it was gone. This Women's Health Protection Act, which is incredibly deceptively named, they talk about disinformation. It's not about health or protection. It has nothing to do with the good of women. That bill would strip away every protection that's been put on the books in American history, would strip away the ability to see our own ultrasounds. If we ask to see our own ultrasounds, that could be denied us again. It would strip away informed consent, any kind of protection on late-term abortion, which of course, as we know, is far more dangerous for the woman, much higher maternal mortality rate. It would strip away protections on chemical abortion, which is even more dangerous than a surgical abortion when it comes to hemorrhage and sepsis. You name it, it's on the chopping block.
So would it remove parental consent?
Yes.
Okay, so we heard some rhetoric earlier about protecting little girls. So in other words, me as parents, my wife and I as parents, so in other words, if we had an underage daughter, that would remove us from the picture, is that correct?
It sure would, yeah.
Does it limit the healthcare information? Does this bill limit healthcare information that can be provided to pregnant women?
The Women's Health Protection Act does. When we're talking about lack of informed consent, women don't even have the right to get the facts about the abortion, the procedure that they're about to undergo.
Basically what you were saying earlier. Yeah. I want to thank the chairman yesterday for clarifying the Democrat Party's position in regards to the Hyde Amendment. For those of you not familiar, the Hyde Amendment.
You're welcome.
The Hyde Amendment prevents
Shut up.
taxpayer dollars from being used.
You're welcome.
For abortions. So in other words, you should pay for it. And if you have, let's say you have a conscience, let's say for conscience reasons you say that you do not want to pay for an abortion, that would all go away. And it's terribly unfortunate. Because we saw many Democrats over the previous decades that did have strong conscience provisions that believed in the Hyde Amendment, and our chairman now has made it very clear that the Democrat Party's position is that you shall pay for abortions if they're going to set the law here in our country. I just want to close with this, and I want to address the young people that are here today. Thank you so much for joining us for this hearing. I want to talk to you about the history of the Republican Party. We were formed in 1854. We were the original single-issue party, and that was to end slavery. And that was accomplished in our country. And we did it over we ended up fighting war over it. And we are now here to protect life once again. It is now the Republican Party that stands for life in America. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields back, Ms. McBath.
Thank you, Chairman. We have spent countless years listening to questions about women's personal freedoms from individuals with extreme views. Questions from individuals in this body who have already expressed by their actions and their rhetoric that the will of the American people should just simply be ignored. And after all the years of attacks on Roe v. Wade, after years of
How about you let us vote on abortion? Why don't you let us vote?
I believe that it's time that those who have advocated for the overturning of a woman's right to choose answer some questions of their own. Does a 12-year-old girl, a middle schooler, who attends after-school programs because her parents work late, who is viciously raped on her walk home from school, should she have access to an abortion? Or must she be forced to carry that fetus to term for 9 months, to wake up every morning to bouts of morning sickness, to shake in fear every time she is touched, the growing bump in her belly, a reminder each day of the unimaginable trauma she has suffered, memories she cannot escape, and a feeling she may never feel clean or whole again? Does a mother who has struggled to get pregnant, who has just gone in for a prenatal checkup and has been told the heartbreaking truth that her child will be stillborn upon delivery?
That's not part of it.
No matter what she does, or no matter how hard she prays, her desire for motherhood will once again be denied. Should her doctors be allowed to treat her miscarriage? Or must she be forced to carry her fetus to term, to grapple with the pain,
So you're lying.
the anguish,
That's not
the
part of it.
devastation she feels being asked by passers-by in public how far along she is, or enduring comments on how beautiful she looks as an expectant mother, and how excited she must be for the arrival of her newborn child. Does a sophomore who plays varsity soccer and hopes to play in college one day, who's excited to go to prom in a few months and just had sex for the first time, who can't seem to understand why her shirts keep getting tighter. She finds herself with her head in the toilet one night, vomiting seemingly for no reason at all. And as her father comes to check on her, he startles her, and she looks into his eyes, which are filled with tears. They both recognize that she is pregnant, and that she, no more than a mere child herself, will be forced to give birth to one. Does she have the right to an abortion? Or will she be forced to feel the guilt and shame she believes she has caused her parents and her loved ones, for realizing that college may no longer be an option for her, or that her future...
You know how many single mothers go to college every single day?
In other words, I'd
Shut
like
up,
to
lady.
ask my Republican colleagues, do you support abortion in the first trimester? Do you support abortion in the case of rape or incest? Do you support abortion if it risks the life of the mother? Do you support abortion in the case of fetal abnormalities? Do you believe all abortion is murder? And if so, do you believe...
Ma'am, I was born disabled. I would have been aborted under your
do
reasoning.
you believe women should
Go
face
bite me.
criminal penalties for seeking an abortion? Do you think doctors should be put in jail for providing them? Do you support a woman's right to make her own health care decisions? And the reason we will never hear
What
a
about the
response
baby's
to these
health care
simple
decisions?
questions is that they know the answers they give, Americans will find extreme and disturbing. They know that forcing women to have children without their consent is not a position that the American people find palatable. They know that forcing women to carry a dead fetus to term will not win them the support that
They're not going to be forced to carry a
because
dead
what this
fetus to
decision
term.
takes from us,
Shut up, lady. You don't
women,
even know what you're talking
is our
about.
freedom. The freedom to choose our own destinies. The freedom to pursue the happiness that we envision for ourselves.
What about the happiness of that baby you're trying to
across
murder?
America telling women that for 9 months that they are mere subjects of the state, that their bodies belong to the whims of the almighty government, that the liberty our Creator endowed with us is no longer a self-evident truth, that the autonomy and independence God has given us has been stripped away by mere men. There is no freedom for a woman unless she has freedom over her own body.
Time of the gentlelady has expired, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Foster, do laws against abortion prohibit removing a dead fetus from the woman?
Absolutely not.
That's my understanding as well. Wanted to get that one out of the way because that continues to be repeated by the other side. Professor Murray, you concluded your testimony, both your written version and the oral form, by saying that you, quote, call on this committee to protect these associated rights in a manner that is swift and absolute. That was your last word, absolute. And of course, these associated rights, you're speaking about several, but certainly the right to abortion. Do you mean by that there should be no limits on it whatsoever, that it should be available until birth?
What I meant in my written testimony, Representative, and many thanks for the question, is that fundamental rights should not be left to the democratic process. These are fundamental rights that each individual has, and they should be protected as they were under the Constitution.
Do you mean that they are absolute? My colleagues, when we were discussing the Second Amendment the other week, reminded me often that no constitutional right is absolute, a point that I readily concede. Do you concede that there can be limits on the right to abortion?
It is not a concession to say that there is no fundamental right that is unfettered. I teach that to my students every day in my constitutional law class. The Second Amendment rights are not unfettered. They can be subject to government regulation, or at least they could until quite recently. All fundamental rights are subject to some limitations. But I asked for this committee to respond in a manner that was swift and absolute. I meant in terms of their commitment to protecting the rights of every person in the United States to enjoy these fundamental freedoms and not have their most intimate decisions made by the government.
Do you support the Women's Health Protection Act that is pending? That's what it's called by its sponsors. You've heard it referred to today, and I imagine you're familiar with it. That would allow abortion until the moment of birth?
Representative, I think that's a mischaracterization of the Women's Health Protective Act. I'm supportive of any measure that this chamber takes to assure the rights of individuals to be free in this country and to enjoy the equality that is promised to us under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. And I'm happy to elaborate if you'd like.
Well, let me clear away then, if you said it's a mischaracterization of the bill, I don't think it is, but let me just ask you more directly. Do you favor the Congress providing that abortion shall be protected until the moment of birth?
I don't believe that abortion care allows for abortion until the moment of birth. That's not how this works. Individuals have the right to select an abortion. And when individuals do choose a late-term abortion, it's usually because something tragic has happened in a pregnancy that was very much wanted. My point that this is a mischaracterization is that you are using inflammatory language to essentially damn those who choose to have a late-term abortion, often because there are very few choices available to them because something tragic has happened in the course of a very much wanted pregnancy. That's my point.
Should the rights of the unborn child be weighed in the consideration of whether to allow a late-term abortion?
Well, I would respectfully note that in this court's decision in Planned Parenthood versus Casey in 1992, the court allowed the state.
Rather than go back into the Constitution, I'm really just getting your advice because you're
advising. Sorry, we're not talking about the Constitution. We can't go back.
I'm interested in your advice to the committee about that you concluded that you urged the committee to protect these rights, and I'm asking not so much for a history of what the Supreme Court has said, but do you contend that the child's rights, unborn child's rights, should be weighed in considering whether to limit late-term abortion?
As I was saying, in Planned Parenthood versus Casey, the court allowed the states to regulate for the potentiality of life. That was the leavening of both the women's rights.
Do you believe it should be so limited?
It doesn't matter what I believe. It matters what the Constitution says and how the Constitution is interpreted.
Thank you. Ms. Warbelow, the Human Rights Campaign also supports the Democrats' bill that I just made reference to, for providing for abortion up until birth, potentially. Isn't that correct?
We support the bill, but again, like Professor Murray said, your statements are a mischaracterization of what the bill does.
You say that it could not protect the right to an abortion until the moment of birth.
That isn't how abortion care works, and in fact, to suggest that that's how abortion care works is really troubling and dangerous for women.
Okay, so only because you're saying that as a practical matter, that's not how abortions occur. Therefore, but the bill does allow, by its terms, it allows that. Isn't that correct?
It does not. It's a mischaracterization of how the bill operates. As Professor.
Time of the gentleman has expired, Mr. Stanton.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Nearly 50 years ago, the Supreme Court recognized the constitutional right to an abortion in Roe v. Wade. That ruling, anchored in our Constitution's right to privacy, was part of a litany of cases forming the doctrine of substantive due process, guaranteeing constitutional protections for many of the freedoms that we embrace and rely upon in the modern United States. Whether it be a parent's decision on how to raise their child, an adult's decision to marry the person they love, or the decision to use contraception, these private, intimate choices have long been left to the individual to make for themselves, not to politicians. In the week since Dobbs was published, I can tell you that the people of my district in Arizona are angry. They're angry because the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe reverses years of hard-won progress and precedent. It threatens the lives, careers, and families they've built, and the plans they've made for their
Maybe they
future.
should have used some
Simply
contraceptive.
put, it turns back the clock.
Both the man and the
While
woman.
Justice Alito attempted to distinguish the right to an abortion from other personal freedoms recognized by the court in recent decades, like access to contraception, like marriage equality,
Thank you, Hope.
his distinguishing rationale was so weak that there is little hope that other personal liberties will hold up to its scrutiny. Make no mistake, the Dobbs decision is a clear invitation to state legislatures to pass more hostile laws that, without a doubt, will result in litigation before the Supreme Court and will result in further fundamental rights being stripped away. You don't have to be a close observer of the court to know this. Today's Supreme Court majority will not stop at overturning the right to an abortion. Now, the court feels empowered and emboldened to ignore stare decisis and rewrite settled law. From Meyer, the case protecting parental decision-making, to Griswold protecting access to contraception, to Loving protecting interracial marriage, to Lawrence protecting privacy for intimate relationships, to Obergefell protecting marriage equality, a century of stare decisis is at stake. So now it's up to us, members of Congress, who are duty-bound to our voters, to take immediate action to secure our fundamental liberties through federal statute. That will require abolishing the filibuster, but protecting constitutional rights is more important than protecting our archaic rule of the Senate. Our Constitution, our country, and the American people demand it. I have a question for Mr. Obergefell. You're a legend. You've changed America for the better, so thank you for your leadership. I want to acknowledge that first and foremost, your courageous action. Do you trust Justice
Courageous
Alito's
action
assurance
murdering kids.
that rights of LGBTQ plus people will not be overturned? And if so, why not?
Not one bit. He clearly is opposed to marriage equality just based on his dissent in Obergefell.
He's a man. He
And
shouldn't
regardless
have
of what
the
he
ability
puts
to talk
in
on this
writing
subject,
in
right?
this Dobbs decision,
They talk shit about all these men,
this
but then they
decision
let this guy
opens the
talk.
door to attack marriage equality. Justice Thomas's concurring opinion gives additional language and groundwork to do that. And to be fair, several of these justices during their confirmation hearings were not completely truthful, in my opinion, in their responses to their opinion on precedent relating to Roe versus Wade. So that piece of writing in that decision does not give me any comfort whatsoever. When one right is lost, all rights are at risk.
Ms. Warblow, I have essentially the same question. Justice Alito's pronouncement in Dobbs that, quote, nothing in its opinion should be understood to cast doubt on precedents that
What
do
about
not
the baby's
concern
rights?
abortion, unquote. Does that offer you any reassurance that this Supreme Court majority will not roll back protections for LGBTQ plus people?
It's important to note that
This
the
has nothing to do with them.
majority consensus document, it does not reflect what Justice Alito might have written had he chosen to write this decision alone. He and Justice Thomas have repeatedly said that they believe that the Obergefell decision was wrong. Not only did they say it in the dissent to that opinion, but they've said it subsequently, including in subsequent court filings. And so there is every reason to believe that they very much would invite and would like to see that precedent overturned, along with other precedents, including Griswold and Lawrence.
Thank you so much.
Time of the gentleman has expired. Mr. Roy.
Thank you, Chairman. We've got a couple of questions here for Professor Murray. First, in terms of room raider, I appreciate the stuffed elephant in the background, Professor Murray. As I'm looking at the backdrop there, as a dad, I'm enjoying that in the background. I would ask you a question. Who decides when life begins?
Well, thank you for the question, Representative Roy. It's nice to see you. I'll remind you that we overlapped at the University of Virginia many years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm actually in my friend's son's bedroom. I'm on vacation with my family. The question of when life begins is an essentially personal question. It is often informed by the individual religious beliefs and moral beliefs.
Sure. Hold on. I know, because I'm limited. I'm trying. You know, I've got limited time. Hold on, Professor. I know I've got limited time. Who, as a matter of law, who decides when life begins, and who decides when and how life is protected?
The Constitution does not speak to the question of when life begins, just as it doesn't speak to many other things, including the right to an abortion and executive privilege and qualified immunity.
So
it is a personal decision.
In the absence of the Constitution specifically saying when life begins, then who best to decide when to protect life? The people or courts?
Representative Roy, as you know, the question of when life begins is a personal question informed by religious beliefs. Our Constitution in the very First Amendment says emphatically that the government shall not endorse any particular religion. It shall not establish.
But Professor, when we have life, when we just make decisions about protecting life, which we do all the time, if a 3-month-old infant is murdered, we protect that life. If a 50-year-old is murdered, we have laws across the country that protect that life. We make decisions about when life begins. My simple question is, as a matter of law, is who decides when we protect life, and whether or not that is judges to decide that moment, or whether that is elected representatives elected by the people.
The Democrats think they
well,
get to.
Representative Roy, as you say, we have laws. Those laws are written by our representatives. We also have fundamental rights. And as you have noted, these fundamental rights are not unfettered, but they do allow individuals to possess certain freedoms. For example, the Second Amendment right, despite the fact that we have prohibitions on murder, allow individuals to bear arms. Indeed, sometimes to effects that are incredibly deleterious.
So, Professor, let me ask you this question. Do you think Brown is settled law? Brown versus Board of Education.
Settled law.
And do you think then Plessy was not settled law and Brown righted it?
I think that Plessy versus Ferguson espoused a doctrine of separate but equal that was absolutely antithetical to the principles of the Equal Protection Clause.
But the question here is, do you agree when Justice Kagan in her confirmation proceedings, she said there were 2 ways to amend the Constitution, through Article 5 or through the judiciary, through the courts. Do you agree with that statement?
That is typically how we have amended the Constitution in the past.
So in other words, so that it can in fact be amended through judicial action. As Justice Marshall said, do what you think is right and let the law catch up. So what I'm trying to get at here is when we're talking about judicial activism, we're talking about the court creating law, the court making the decision. The whole question here is who gets to decide. And I think that is what's fundamental. Let me ask you a quick question, Professor Murray, we're going to run out of time. Do you think that the Heller decision, District of Columbia versus Heller, is settled law?
I think the Heller decision is one that was decided by this court.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Is it settled law?
It is settled law, but it seems to have been expanded.
Is McDonald v. Chicago settled law?
McDonald v. Chicago merely incorporates the reminders of the Second Amendment to the states through the 14th Amendment.
The questions here are simple, Professor. Are they settled law? Shelby County versus Holder, settled law.
Shelby County versus Holder simply eliminates the preclearance formula.
But I know what the case does, Professor. I know what the case does. Is it settled law?
It is settled law.
Thank you. And is Citizens United settled law?
Citizens United provides that corporations have a First Amendment right.
I know, Professor. I know you're a professor. I know you can recite what's in the cases. I'm asking if these are settled law. I think my point here is simple. Ma'am, I know. My point here is simple. Professor, my point here is simple. The question here is who gets to decide? Who gets to decide these fundamental questions? And I think
time of the gentleman has expired. Time of the gentleman has expired, Ms. Dean.
Hey, you won't let him talk because she.
Women and girls in our country do not give up hope because of the actions of a radical, extremist, corrupt Supreme Court. It is on all of us to be sure Dobbs is not our future, a future where women and girls are reduced to second-class citizenship, a future where my daughters-in-law and my granddaughters have fewer rights than I had.
It's not a right to have an abortion.
I want to talk to you, Ms. Warbelow, and Professor Murray, about language. Language matters. And I don't know if you're paying attention, but I have a feeling you are, to the veiled and sometimes not so veiled language of incredible disrespect for women and girls that we've heard thrown around here and we hear thrown around. Representative Gomer, speaking of Planned Parenthood, said something, I'll paraphrase, get a younger girl started on birth control to better the odds that she'll forget to take the pills so she'll get pregnant and have an abortion. Representative Gates talking about SNAP abortions. Obviously, someone who's never been pregnant. There's nothing SNAP about an abortion. The witness, our expert here, fabricating that if a woman had a procedure to save her life, or a girl had a procedure to save her life, it is no longer an abortion. Of course it is. It's a medical procedure. Republicans think women are too stupid to make decisions for ourselves. Can you briefly both comment on this? And not shockingly, this language is all coming from white men of privilege and power. Can you speak to the language issue?
Language always matters. How our nation's elected officials speak about women, about LGBTQ people, about people of color, has real ramifications. We know that it increases feelings of depression and isolation, particularly among youth. To be suggested that they are less than fully human, less than fully wanted. And so the rhetoric that comes from our elected officials has real implications. I would encourage everyone to be thoughtful in how they speak about folks.
Thank you for that. Professor Murray, could you say just briefly any observations you have on the language of disrespect toward women and girls?
I think the entire job's opinion is about the language of disrespect to women and girls. Planned Parenthood versus Casey made very clear that these rights are essential to women's equal citizenship. The court did not even entertain the prospect of women's equality to say other than that they found that it was inconsistent with its precedent.
Thank you very much. Mr. Obergefell, I am thrilled to meet you today. I hope next time it will be in person. I thank you for being here. I thank you for being the face of courage and the face of change, the face of expanding rights in this country.
2 seconds ago, she was talking bad about white men, and now she's saying, thank you for testifying today, Mr. White Man.
Together, of your love, of your dreams, of your disagreements, sounds a lot like my marriage. Your description of your care for your husband as he suffered and struggled with ALS down to his last day. As you say, if that isn't a marriage, I don't know what is. Again, reminding me of the power of marriage. I had the honor this summer to marry 2 of my friends in a same-sex marriage. And I use the words, and I wonder if you love these words as much as I. Massachusetts Supreme Court Justice Margaret Marshall in 2003 becoming the first state to recognize same-sex marriage, and I'm abbreviating what she said so eloquently. I commend it to everyone. Quote, marriage is a vital social institution because it fulfills yearnings for security, safe haven, and connection that express our common humanity. Civil marriage is an
I'm sorry, Hope. I haven't been seeing comments. Hi, Joe Blow. Sorry, guys.
Is among life's most momentous acts of self-definition.
I don't know why I'm not seeing these comments.
Of marriage, same-sex or other, and can you speak to your feelings when you read the
I was wondering why nobody was commenting.
Clarion call when he says the court today declines to disturb substantive due process in cases like Gebeurtenkeld. For that reason, in future cases, we should consider all of this court's substantive, including Obergefell. How did you feel?
Well, thank you, Representative Dean. When I read those words in Thomas's opinion, they angered me. They upset me because here was a justice on our nation's
2 minutes ago, she was saying white men shouldn't speak on the subject, and look who's speaking.
A Supreme Court decision taking aim at our marriage to say he still believes we are less than, we are less worthy than. Our relationships, our families.
They need to make up their mind.
Do not matter as
time of the gentlelady has expired. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think one of the things we're hearing today is the complete disdain by members of Congress for the 10th Amendment and the ability for the states to actually govern themselves, or the idea that legislatures that are elected by people.
I think that's what she was saying,
South
Hope.
Dakota versus California or New York versus Wisconsin can actually have diverse opinions on something as controversial as abortion. So there's a patchwork that exists because there's been many states that have been working on pro-life legislation at the state level for literally since Roe versus Wade was put in place. And Wisconsin, my state, falls into that category. So, and I was in the state senate for 27 years, worked on a number of different pro-life pieces of legislation, including constitutional amendments to prohibit partial birth abortion. And as we continue to pass those bills, it was all done under the guise of we were walking the fine line right up to Roe versus Wade. So when I was majority leader in 2015, we passed a law prohibiting abortions after 20 weeks. Wisconsin also has a law in the books passed before Roe versus Wade that bans abortion in all cases except for the life of the mother, subject to penalties under a different felony case than the 2015 law. It's my understanding it's common for criminal statutes to overlap, and the old law should in no way conflict with the 2015 law, which also provides for civil claims for damages, for example, against any person who performs an abortion on a pregnant woman in violation of the act. The only difference between the two statutes is one was written before Roe versus Wade, one was written after. The Supreme Court decision in the recent Dobbs case is binding on the states, and any Wisconsin statute that had conflicted with Roe should now have full legal force and effect. However, I think what we're seeing is that Democrats who don't trust their legislatures or governors are trying to circumvent the law. They're trying to figure out a way of, let's work around the local people, local yokels in state legislature, because we know better in Congress. We always know better, which is always puzzling to me because there's such a high percentage of members of Congress that served in the state legislature.
Right, Hope? I'm trying to fix this chat.
In Wisconsin, our Governor Evers, promised to provide clemency to any physician that is charged under Wisconsin abortion laws. Our Attorney General brought a suit against the state legislature already, which is legally questionable in its own right, asserting that the 2015 law supplants the earlier Wisconsin law because they are, quote, in direct conflict with each other. I believe the only difference between the two statutes is that one was written after Roe and one before, again. So my question would be to Ms. Glenn Foster. What has been kind of the recent response and the knee-jerk that you're seeing kind of from state to state as we look at this distrust for the state legislatures and what they may do or not do in light of the ruling?
There we go.
And
now I got
most
Restream chat
states
back.
are moving to protect human life. They're moving to put those pre-Roe laws or those post-Roe laws into enforcement.
Hopefully
that
Restream chat
2015
works
law
now.
was a temporary solution to the Roe problem, and it did not repeal Wisconsin's pre-Roe law. So that pre-Roe law sets the abortion policy of Wisconsin, which is a state that I love. I'm a Packers fan, Bucks fan. Love the cheese state. But Wisconsin is also a pro-life state, and it is, it's going to be free from abortion businesses.
Wisconsin.
Do you think that as this
Can you type something, Hope, so I can see if my chat works now?
Exists, that it will be an opportunity for the electorate to kind of revisit some of these issues and adjust compared to what the Supreme Court has done?
It is, yes. That's why we have elected representatives, and the American people are going to make their will known. We've seen that in the polling. We know that the American people support life, and we expect to see that the American people and their elected representatives will pass laws that will protect life going forward.
Very good. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Ms. Escobar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and many thanks to our witnesses. Today's hearing is an opportunity for us to examine the kind of future that Republicans, including those on the Supreme Court, have shown that they want for us in America. In a nutshell, their future, the future that they are working on is rights for me, but not for thee. It's about turning back the clock so that our country allows Republican
What about the rights of the
controlled
baby?
states to create second-class citizenship for certain groups. I'd like to share a brief story. A constituent of mine, a mother who I admire tremendously, recently told me about her abortion.
Thank you, Cat Manti.
She and her husband
I'm doing
had
well.
2
How about you?
children when they learned about a new pregnancy. They were so excited about the news. They bought a crib. They were planning for their new baby. They looked forward to this future. In her final trimester, her doctor gave her the tragic news that her
disgusting
baby was
watching
not
these
viable.
people want
And
to try and
if she
kill
carried
babies.
the baby to term, she would most certainly die, leaving her 2 children motherless. She had to make the difficult decision to terminate her pregnancy. She went to a clinic, and in addition to the devastation and sadness that she felt, she had to endure the chiding of protesters who were shouting at her as she walked in. People who thought they
Dogs
should
are sleeping.
have the
There's
last
one.
word over the decision
The
she,
Browners.
her doctor, made. People who thought they knew
Donnie's over
better.
there.
In the Republican Party's view, and indeed in the laws they have written in
Look,
states today,
they got this totally
this
mixed
mother
up
would
because
not have been able to terminate this pregnancy.
we will let you
She would have
terminate if
died, and
the
the
mother's
baby
going to
would not
die.
have
They're going to let you
survived outside the
terminate
womb.
the pregnancy.
Her 2
Thank you, Hope.
children would be motherless, and her husband would be a widower.
Will you shut up? That's not
So
what
when
law,
one of
how
my
it works.
colleagues claims that, quote, all life is precious, there really should be an asterisk by his statement, because there are many exceptions to that statement for them. One of them being women, because apparently women are expendable.
Apparently,
This
you don't
is
know
the
how to
Republican
read.
Party's vision for women and families and children in America, where women and even a 10-year-old impregnated by rape will be forced to move forward with government-mandated birth, even as in the case of my constituent.
Did you not just hear
where
the
she
lady a
faced
minute
certain
ago?
death.
That
The
10-year-olds
Republican
are
witness
considered a
said we
tragic
should have a
pregnancy
hearing on helping American
and a
families.
health risk, so they
Ms.
can abort
Foster,
the baby.
Democrats have indeed had hearings on helping American families. And House
What's up there,
Democrats
gorgeous?
passed a
Did you
bill
get any sleep?
that would provide parents with paid family and medical leave so that they could be home with their newborn baby. We passed a bill with access to child care so that those parents could go to work and provide for their babies. And universal pre-K for children so that those babies could get a good start on their education. And every Republican voted against that. We also had hearings and passed bills to help keep children alive, to have the freedom to live free from the carnage that comes with gun violence. Every Republican
This doesn't have
here
anything to do
voted
with gun
against that
violence,
as
lady.
well. Make no mistake about it. While
Cat Manti, it
Republicans may
infuriates
be
me as well.
pro-forced birth, they are anything but pro-life. In Republican-controlled states with the harshest abortion laws, like my own state of Texas, we have underfunded schools, failing foster care systems, lack of access to health care. I could go on and on and on. This
Please
is
don't.
what they call being pro-life. What else is in the future that that Republicans are planning for Americans? Justice Thomas, in his opinion, has literally invited states to challenge marriage equality, access to birth control, and more is sure to come. So for Americans listening at home, you think you have a right for birth control? If you do, think again, you're on their list. You think you have a right to marry who you love? If you do, think again, you're on their list. As Republicans continue to try to strip women and children of their rights, creating a whole class of second-class citizens, my Democratic colleagues and I will continue to fight for you. We trust you, we believe in you, we believe in your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You just said it life. What about the life of the baby, you ugly woman? And I don't mean ugly by beauty, I mean ugly by her inner
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
beauty.
I appreciate the eloquent defense of life offered by many of my Republican colleagues this morning. I add my voice to theirs in recognizing the sanctity of all life. Having grown up in the Jim Crow South of segregation and KKK, I'm familiar with the true racism, intolerance, and hate, all due to the color of my skin. I see the same thing today in 2022 as the hard left, the so-called party of tolerance, who bang the drum of racism, inequality, inequity, do not practice what they preach. The leaked opinion and reversal of Roe versus Wade unleashed carefully planned attacks on pro-life organizations, violent protests,
Thanks again,
an
bud.
assassination attempt at the home of Supreme Court Justice and his family, and racially charged Firestone against Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. That's nothing new for Justice Thomas, who has been the target of the elitist left for 40 years. Instead of celebrating the second Black American in our nation's history, highest court, they declared open season with vicious and racist attacks. This because he's an articulate, confident Black American who loves the American tenets of God, country, and family. It's because he's a Black man who dares to think differently than they would love for him to think. I'd like to share some comments of their comments with this committee. Samuel L. Jackson called Justice Thomas Uncle Clarence and tweeted that a ban on interracial marriage is next. Representative Benny Thompson called Justice Thomas Uncle Tom, citing his support for voter ID and opposition to affirmative action. He stated that Justice Thomas doesn't like Black people. He doesn't like being Black. I'm going to take a second and repeat that line. Justice Thomas doesn't like Black people. He doesn't like being Black. Chicago Mayor Lightfoot attacked Justice Thomas in a profane rant, suggesting the decision would lead to overturning gay marriage. Hillary Clinton called Justice Thomas an angry person of grievance. It's not just Justice Thomas they attacked. CNN suggested that Congresswoman Mayra Flores wasn't the real deal. They believe, and I quote, she holds views outside Latino mainstream. Mayra, too, dares to think differently than what the elitist left demands. A guest on MSNBC, host Joy Reid, called Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears a black mouth of white supremacy. Twitter allowed Uncle Tim to trend for hours after Senator Tim Scott State of the Union rebuttal before taking action. A white newspaper cartoonist for the Utah State Salt Lake City Tribune portrayed me as a white Klansman, so typical of the condescending racism. If these same attacks were aimed at Barack Obama, it would be called out by this committee and the media for exactly what it is, pure racism. This chairman would probably hold a hearing on it. I'd like to tender some advice for those on the left who attempt to divide us with their hateful rhetoric. First, I recommend a good book that I read a couple decades ago called How to Win Friends and Influence People. The hard left is failing big time in this area. The second, I suggest you totally miss the basic one-on-one of the American spirit. We don't respond well to intimidation and bullies and cowards. This pattern of intolerance is disgusting, unjustified, un-American. Most importantly, it shows how far we've come from MLK's dream, where our children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the character of their content. Instead of working to delegitimize our institutions, default into fear-mongering tactics and basic arguments that the Supreme Court wants to take away our rights, we should be honest with the American people. Dishonesty is not appreciated by the American people, and you'll see that in November of this year. Check it out. Roe v. Wade cost us 23 million innocent lives. Like the pro-slavery Democrat Dred Scott decision in 1857, it was a flawed decision. Overcoming Roe didn't outlaw abortion or take away the constitutional right of Americans. It put the decision in the state hands, in the hands of we the people where it belongs. To the angry left, it's time to settle down. Take off your masks and show your cowardly faces. Put down your stones and firebombs, and through civil debate, convince us that you're right. My prediction is you have no clue. In the meanwhile, a black constitutionalist on the Supreme Court who stands with that decision should be revered, not ridiculed. Last thought, Justice Thomas is old school. I promise you will not be intimidated. Thank you, and I'll yield back.
Mr. Chairman.
For what purpose does Ms. Jackson-Lee seek recognition?
Very quickly, Mr. Chairman, I have unanimous consent to submit into the record the senatorial testimony of the Supreme Court judges of Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Amy Barrett. Texas woman 26 charged with murder over self-induced abortion. Texas abortion law strains clinics, according to doctors. Attacks against abortion providers by anti-abortion activists. And finally, doctors' worst fears about the Texas abortion law coming true. I ask unanimous consent to submit all of these into the record.
Without objection.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes himself for 5 minutes. I want to start by thanking Chairman Nadler for holding this urgently needed hearing today.
Shut up with Jerry Nadler.
I offer my thanks to all of the witnesses for their thoughtfulness and for their time. As I read through Justice Thomas's concurring opinion in Dobbs, I think of the heads up he gave us about the far-right majority's plan to overturn other well-established constitutional rights that Americans had just taken for granted in their daily lives. In particular, Justice Thomas calls on the court to, quote, reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including the court's 1965 decision in Griswold, as well as the court's decisions in Lawrence v. Texas and Obergefell. These are, of course, the three cases establishing the constitutional rights to contraception, non-procreative intimacy, and marriage equality. In casting doubt on these decisions, Justice Thomas let us know that the far-right majority on the court is not satisfied to have deprived millions of Americans of the right to an abortion. Rather, the majority is on a rampage against other freedoms currently enjoyed by the American people.
Exactly, Cat
Drawn
Menti.
attention to the partisanship.
Her doorway here was
majority on the
crooked.
court, and the fact that these 6 justices
Her
are not
brain was
people
crooked.
who can simply be reasoned with using sound legal arguments or even the court's own precedents.
I was chatting on the stream where I'm copying this from. They had to cancel this chat because it was getting too heated.
To some extent today.
I don't cancel my chat in here, guys.
1967 decision called Loving v. Virginia, which established the constitutional right to interracial marriage. It seems to me that following Justice Thomas's logic about reconsidering the court's substantive due process precedents, the Loving decision would fall naturally on his list. In fact, the Supreme Court's 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade explicitly relied on the decision in Loving v. Virginia. Moreover, the case is cited multiple times in both Justice Alito's majority opinion and in the dissent in Dobbs. Now, my Republican colleagues would say that Justice Thomas's omission of Loving v. Virginia is nothing
I guess they want him to.
with the fact that he's a black man married to a white woman.
So what?
Never mind
What does that have to
that
do
he
with
tried
it?
to block the January 6th committee from seeing documents that may have included evidence of his wife plotting the
Right, Joe
insurrection
Blow?
at the Capitol. He would never do something that is in his personal interest above that of what the law requires or sound legal reasoning requires. Professor Murray, what does it say to the reputation of the Supreme Court, or what does it do to the reputation of the Supreme Court and to people's faith in the institution?
Look at the lady sitting next to him. She's having trouble breathing because she's wearing that mask.
Deciding cases based on their own personal preferences and political ideology, rather than what the law requires.
Thank you, Representative Jones. I will note that this idea that judges deciding cases based on their own predilections is the very essence of the judicial activism that your conservative colleagues have denounced. I also wanted to respond to Representative Owens' comments about condescending racism. I would like to perhaps call attention to the condescending sexism of this decision, which seems to view the choices of women as somehow illegitimate when they make them. The Supreme Court has virtually ignored American women with this decision, and the consequences will be startling and alarming.
There you go, Joe.
A Gallup poll released on the day before the Dobbs decision revealed that 75% of Americans do not view the court as a legitimate, nonpartisan institution. Confidence in the court is vanishingly low for good reason. The question is, what the hell is Congress going to do about it? And it turns out we are not powerless to stop this court's rampage against our freedoms. Congress, in fact, has a breathtaking number of options to rein in the power of this rogue.
I think he could have chose better words than what the hell.
In the past, Congress has deprived the court of appellate jurisdiction to issue certain decisions. It has expanded and contracted the number of justices. It has granted and withheld the court's power to issue injunctions and other writs. It has immunized particular types of defendants and executive actions from judicial review. It has suspended causes of action to bring certain challenges. Of course, it has taken other actions. I have routinely urged this body to take action to reform the Supreme Court.
What, Donnie?
Action that is desperately needed to meet this moment in our history. It's why I introduced, along with Chairman Johnson and Chairman Nadler, the Judiciary Act to add 4 seats to the Supreme Court of the United States. And additionally, I recently proposed an amendment to the Women's Health Protection Act that would strip the Supreme Court of its jurisdiction to review that very legislation and channel all review of its constitutionality and legality to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. Interestingly enough, the conservatives...
Donnie loves these strawberry yogurt pretzels. Is that... Oh my... Why is dipshit fucking... Oh my gosh.
And years from now, history will record
Needle dick wearing a mask.
We decided what we would do to defeat the threat of fascism.
Why can't I think of his name right now?
Posed by the modern-day Republican Party. with the Supreme Court of the United States as an accomplice. I yield back.
What's his name?
And the chair now recognizes Mr. Benz.
Mr. Chair, and I yield my time to the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you so much. Thank the gentleman for yielding. You know, I'm going to bring this home. I think I'm the last one on the Republican side. Oh, and we have Mr. Raskin. Boy, I don't want to upstage him. But let me say, there's been a lot of alarmist rhetoric here today. There really has. And,
Shifty shift. Thank you, Joe Blow.
Because something you said earlier really struck me. You lamented our dusty old founding documents, and you expressed your obvious disdain for the founders who drafted them. That's how it was received here. I'm not sure if that's what you intended, but are you aware, or let me say, would you agree that America is indeed the most successful, most powerful, most free nation in the history of the world?
I would agree that America is a critically important country, one that I love, but it has made mistakes, and it continues to make mistakes. And as Americans, we need to come together to correct those mistakes. And I apologize if what you took away was a critique of our founders. My critique is that the founders were not representative.
Let's see who's out here. I'll be right back.
Sure. Well, let me reclaim my time. So, but they did acknowledge that we are in the process of making a more perfect union. And the idea that we're not the most exceptional nation in the world, I don't think is backed up by objective evidence. But let me just say that the great nation, I would assume you would agree that we are at least a great nation, a very important nation. I won't paraphrase what you said, but we are, and there's a reason for that, right? And it's not by happenstance. It's because we were founded, as my dear friend and colleague Burgess Owens just noted,
Donnie and his deep fucking voice.
Declaration that all men are created equal and in the image of our Creator. And because of that, we believe that every single
She's wild.
has an
I
estimable
don't remember her.
value. And by the way, your value is not related in any way to the color of your skin or what neighborhood you grew up in or where you went to school. Your value is inherent because, as the founders noted, it is given to you by God. And we believe every person should then be measured by the content of our character, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. And we also believe, and I think America was founded upon this premise, that a just government protects innocent life. It honors marriage and family as the primary institutions of a healthy society, and it embraces the cultural influences of religion and morality. And we believe, and we propose, and it should not be a controversial notion because it wasn't in previous generations, that we preserve these ideals, we maintain these, as Ms. Foster articulated earlier. When we do that, we maintain the goodness of America, which really has been the secret of our genius and greatness. I've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. I yield to Ms. Foster. Is there anything you want to add as we wrap this up today?
Right, Diggler? It's definitely a joke.
You know, Justice Thomas, he's a philosopher. He's a textualist. We know that. And so he is not seeking to strip away rights. He is simply seeking to more firmly ground them in our nation's Constitution. And by doing that, they will be more secure, really, even than before. We know that from Obergefell, which had both equal protection and substantive due process woven throughout that decision. We know that from the Loving decision, which was founded even more strongly on equal protection than substantive due process. We know that from all of the lines of decisions that we've talked about here today. And we also know that substantive due process has a bit of a checkered past. It did not protect workers in Lochner. It did not protect Black Americans who were enslaved in Dred Scott. And so we're looking to redeem the foundation of our nation and to redeem these rights and make sure that they are grounded properly in our nation's Constitution so that they can be protected for all time to come.
And on that process in making a more perfect union, and look, I'll just note, because this is the last anyone on our side will be able to say, we just celebrated our 246th birthday as a nation on July 4th, and we're still an experiment in self-governance. We're an experiment on the world stage. We have the greatest Constitution ever written. It's endured for this long, but it won't endure if we abandon its principles and untie ourselves from the moorings. That's what textualism, originalism is all about. We want to defend this matchless Constitution. It's the model for everybody else around the world. And there's a reason, there's real reasons that we are the greatest nation yet. And by God's grace we'll continue to be.
Amen.
There's been a lot said here today. At the end, I hope that's what comes through, that we want to defend those fundamental freedoms. And again, as it said in the very birth certificate of the nation 246 years ago in a few days, that begins with the recognition you have an unalienable right to be born. That I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from North Carolina, Ms. Ross, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank all of our witnesses and panelists for joining us today, and the many people who came here in person to hear such important testimony about such important issues. The Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health threatens some of our most fundamental American freedoms. This decision sets the groundwork for the court to overturn past decisions concerning people's right to privacy far beyond abortion, as we've heard, including the right to obtain contraceptives, the right to marry a person of a different race, the right to decide how to raise our own children, the right to protection from the government for interference in our intimate lives, and the right to marry the person we love, regardless of their sex. The vast majority of Americans support these rights. And it is deeply concerning that this court has acted against the will of the people to roll back freedoms, that so many of us have come to enjoy as we've grown up and we have taken them for granted.
Beelzebub.
Overturning the right to contraception, in particular, could be even more damaging to women and families than the reversal of Roe versus Wade. It would lead to far more unintended pregnancies and therefore more abortions. If Griswold versus Connecticut were overturned as a result of Dobbs, married couples and others could be barred from making their own decisions about whether or not to have a child. We do not and should not.
How is that barring it?
Supreme
If they don't want to have a child, use protection.
On when and how to raise a family. But this court has inserted itself into the lives of millions of Americans nonetheless. Both those in favor and opposed to abortion rights overwhelmingly support the right to contraception. When I advocated for women's rights in North Carolina, I found unity on both sides of the political aisle working to expand access to contraception. I got bipartisan sponsors to support legislation requiring insurance to cover contraception even before the Affordable Care Act. Our lead sponsor, a Republican doctor. A poll by 538 last month found that over 91% of Americans believe contraception, like condoms and birth control pills, should be legal. And in fact, slightly more Republicans were in favor than Democrats in that poll. Similarly, the vast majority of Americans, 71%, support marriage equality. This court, which Senator McConnell manipulated to create a conservative activist majority, has corroded the very fabric of freedom in the United States, putting many of our most popular and fundamental rights in jeopardy. My first question is for Professor Murray. Justice Thomas, in his concurring opinion, took aim at these landmark cases. But what effect would removing the right to contraception have on women, men, and families in our country?
It would be absolutely devastating, Representative Ross. The right to contraception allows individuals to make decisions about the planning and timing of their families. It allows them to finish their educations, to pursue employment opportunities. Women have depended on this and have organized
Is AOC pregnant now?
around the availability of this right in the same way that they organized their lives around the availability of the right to an abortion. And so it would be absolutely devastating.
And as a follow-up to that, what effect would it have on public health, on sexually transmitted diseases, if condoms were outlawed?
Condoms are not going to be outlawed, you stupid.
Contraception and the unavailability of them would have profound effects for public health. And we are already seeing some anecdotal evidence around the country of certain forms of health care being denied to individuals on the ground, that they may also cause abortions or miscarriages. You could have the same kind of
I got you, Joe Blow. Sorry.
Sexually transmitted diseases.
All right, Catman T, catch you later.
If certain forms of birth control
have a good day.
Because they have other indications and other uses for which they might be prohibited. So So again, this would be absolutely devastating on a number of fronts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I yield back.
Great. Now we got to hear
Yields.
frickin'
The chair
Raskin.
now recognizes the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Raskin, for 5 minutes.
This is going to be
Thank
great.
you very much. When this hearing began, the gentleman from Ohio rattled off a list of incidents of vandalism and graffiti and break-ins at churches taking place, and he mentioned several of them in my district. And I want to say that I denounce and I categorically reject these outrageous acts of vandalism and graffiti and break-ins against churches in my district.
Right,
regardless of who did them, left, right, or center, this must end, and this is not a proper way for anyone to treat other people's property or churches or to express political opposition. Now, does the gentleman from Ohio and to his colleagues on that side of the aisle reject the acts of the already proven acts
Let me guess, we're going to say January
murder
6th.
and violence that have been taking place against doctors, nurses, police officers, and healthcare providers, not over the last several weeks or months, but over the last several decades?
Conservatives don't attack cops.
Did they denounce the murder of OBGYN Dr. David Gunn of Pensacola, Florida, who had been the subject of wanted posters by Operation Rescue? Do my colleagues did they denounce the murder of Dr. John Britton, a physician, and James Barrett, a clinic escort, also shot to death in Pensacola, Florida? Do they denounce the murder of Shannon Lowy and Leanne Nichols, killed in clinic attacks in Brookline, Massachusetts? How about Robert Sanderson, an off-duty police officer who worked as a security guard in an abortion clinic in Birmingham, Alabama, who was killed when his workplace
here comes
was
trouble.
bombed? And so on. I could go on all day. I just have a couple of minutes. Murders, assaults, kidnapping.
Told you, here comes
Where do
trouble.
they stand on all of these?
What do you
Hundreds
think,
and
Donald J.
hundreds of
Trump?
acts of violence against abortion clinics, or do they just oppose incidents that take place? We don't know by who, for example, in my district yet, but presumably
He gets his
they
treat
think
and
by
takes
people
off.
on the other side. I
Hey,
denounce
Willow.
it all. Do they denounce it all? I hope that they would. Now,
okay, come on, Brownies. Come on.
I was hoping my friend from Louisiana would still be here.
Come on.
I'm glad, I know he had to go vote. I wonder if my colleagues know, I know that my colleague from Louisiana, the erudite Mr. Johnson, would certainly know this, that 5 of the justices, a majority of the court, 5 of the justices in the Roe versus Wade
Tell me
majority
lies,
were
tell me
appointed
sweet
by
little
Republican
lies.
presidents. What if they know that? Justice Blackmun, who was named to the court, nominated to the court by Richard Nixon. Chief Justice Berger, Nixon.
Oh, my brownie.
Justice Powell from Virginia, of course, he was a Nixon appointee. Potter Stewart, Eisenhower, William Brennan, Eisenhower. There were 2 others in the majority who were Democratic.
Willow, did you see it was my
LBJ
stepdad's
appointed
birthday
Justice
today? Did you see that
Marshall.
video?
FDR had appointed,
He's
Justice
87.
Douglas, who was still on the court at that point.
What, you want another
And,
treat?
Of the 2 dissenters, one
You
was a
want another
Democratic appointee, Byron White, and one was Republican.
Just because Brownie
appointee.
didn't get one.
And in fact, that was basic constitutional doctrine for more than a half century, and Republican appointees kept reaffirming it, including Justice Stevens, the Ford appointee, and Justice Souter, who was a very strong champion of Roe versus Wade and the constitutional right to privacy. But what happened was a transformation within the Republican Party, because they began to insist that opposition to Roe versus Wade be a litmus test issue, the central issue that judges would have to pass or lawyers would have to pass before they got appointed to the bench. And so it became a decades-long campaign to overthrow Roe versus Wade, which had been principally the handiwork of Republican appointees
Tell me
to the
lies,
court, but it had
tell me
built
sweet
this
little lies.
wonderful line of precedent about the constitutional right to privacy. And they were so emphatic about it that in 2006, they blocked President Obama's nominee, Merrick Garland, from even getting a hearing. The chief judge of the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals did not even get a hearing because they said it was too close to the election, a year before the election. And what happened 4 years later with Amy Coney Barrett? They rammed through her nomination in the last several weeks of the Trump administration, when voting had already begun across the country in early voting.
Whose birthday is Sunday?
madcap determination to create this anti-Roe majority. That's why we are where we are. And you know what I say? Okay, they play politics that way. I hope that every Republican in the country who's pro-choice decides to abandon their dangerous extremist party and come over to a party that stands up for the freedom of the people. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
You don't stand for the freedom of the people.
The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Missouri, Ms.
Oh,
Bush,
great.
5 minutes.
Is it Digglewarp's birthday on Sunday? I didn't know that.
So, just a few weeks ago on June
Digga
I
warp.
introduced into the congressional record a document to commemorate the unveiling of the Freedom Suits Memorial Monument. The
Look at
Freedom
those
Suits
nails.
Memorial paid tribute to the hundreds of cases in which enslaved black
Digga
people
warp.
filed for their freedom from bondage in federal courts in St. Louis. The most famous case was that of Dred Scott.
How
in
much do
which
those
the
nails
court held
cost, you
that
think?
Black people had no rights, which the white
What do you think,
man
$100
was
for her
bound to
nails?
respect. Dred Scott is buried in St. Louis, in my district.
Buried?
And his
He's
legacy
buried.
serves as a reminder of the dangers in believing that the Supreme Court has always been a just body. It has not. Substantive due process itself was birthed in the aftermath of the Civil War. It was not legal doctrine that led to the Emancipation Proclamation. It was not the court.
Are you asking
it
a
was
question?
not the Constitution, which was written to guarantee the rights of land-holding white men. It was not moral righteousness that led to the Emancipation Proclamation or the emancipation of black people. It was violence. It was war. It was the
I thought you're not supposed to
resistance
say
and
black.
the persistence of abolitionists that put an end to chattel slavery. And it was because of our freedom dreams that the collective dreams of black people, past and present, who demanded to live in a world free of bondage. It is not lost on me as a descendant of enslaved people and as the first black congresswoman from the state of Missouri that my existence in this space alone is a testament to the freedoms denied the Supreme Court by the Supreme Court of the United States in its Dred Scott decision 165 years ago.
See, I guessed it. Don't get mad at Willow.
Murray, footnote 41 of the majority opinion in Dobbs makes a eugenics argument on the impact of abortion.
You got a watermelon
in black
bowl and a
communities.
bug.
Can you explain the significance of footnote 41 as it relates to contraception?
You're not getting any more
Sure.
treats.
To coin a term used by Representative Owens, you might view this as a kind of condescending racism. The court attempting to link the history of the modern birth control movement and reproductive rights to the history of eugenics for the purpose of essentially arguing that reproductive rights are rooted in a history of racial injustice. I believe that this footnote doesn't really bear on the logic of the Dobbs opinion, but rather is there to seed an opening for eventually overruling the right to contraception on the ground that it is a racial injustice. The idea being that Margaret Sanger, through her work with the eugenics movement, was essentially trafficking in racial injustice, and for that reason, the right to contraception should be overruled as a means of remedying that racial injustice. It is the most craven form of racial condescension, in part because it is being parroted by those who do nothing to assist the Black community, whether in their judicial opinions or in their actions and other beings.
Thank you. Another question for you, Professor Murray. The Reconstruction Amendments were drafted not only to eradicate slavery, but also to eradicate the vestiges of slavery and all forms of bondage. The drafters wanted to go farther than making Black people citizens and wanted to guarantee a sense of liberty. Can you talk about how the drafters defined or understood liberty when drafting the 13th and 14th Amendment?
Why don't you go outside?
Yeah, so if the 13th Amendment abolished slavery and the 15th Amendment gave Black men the right to vote, the 14th Amendment was primarily concerned with eradicating all of the indicia of slavery, the very things that distinguish slavery from freedom. Among them, the absence of bodily autonomy and control over procreation. And this was very clear. They knew about forced birth as a means of expanding the slave population in the period before the Civil War. So they were responding to this. They also wanted to correct the injustice of having no family integrity, of lacking control over your children, of being ineligible for civil marriage. So in that grant of liberty in the 14th Amendment precedes all of these rights that had been denied to the enslaved and were now given to them. They weren't explicit because they were viewed to be captured in that grant of liberty. Justice Alito says nothing about this. It is a selective and itinerant commitment to originalism that his opinion evinces.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Murray. As has been noted, this is the first time the court has taken away a fundamental right. It is important to note that our most fundamental rights have never been safe, and they never will be guaranteed so long as they depend on the ideological whim of 9 unaccountable, unelected justices with lifetime appointments. It is why we need to limit the power of justices by expanding the court, instituting term limits, enacting a code of ethics, and it reinforces why Congress should strip the court of the right to take away fundamental rights.
I missed the doctor's appointment.
The gentlelady's time has expired. This concludes today's hearing. We thank all the witnesses for participating. Without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days to submit additional written questions for the witness or additional materials for the record. Without objection, the hearing is adjourned.
All right, guys, that's enough of that shit show. Can't believe this stuff. All right, I gotta change the title to this, and then we are gonna we're gonna go and do some jail videos. Where do I change the name? Right here. Let's see this. Let's do court proceedings. Here we go. And then now let's find us a court proceeding to watch. What shall we watch? Not her. Let's see who's been up today. Let's see who's been up today. We can go to this one. Where's the one in Georgia though that we normally watch? Where's the one we normally watch? History. We're playing music last night. Let's see. Where are ya? These ones are normally pretty good. Let's see if they have any new ones yet. Do they have a new one today? No, they don't. So then let's go. Let's do this one. Here we go. Here's a court proceeding. And then I got to make a phone call and make an appointment. Does she have purple hair? Does this judge have purple hair?
Good morning again, everyone. We are now streaming live.
Buenos días a todos. Ahora estamos en vivo.
Please raise your right hands.
All right, we can fast forward to this stuff.
Estamos aquí para...
On your own behalf.
Sin embargo, cada uno de ustedes hace esa...
And those conditions are also taking $20,000.
Que pudieran estar...
$20,000.
No pudieran estar cerca de algunas personas las cuales también se toman muy en serio por parte de la Corte.
If you violate the conditions of your bond will be revoked. $20,000.
Does she have a Star Wars mug? I think she did.
Who are watching this broadcast who may assist you with posting.
Trying to fast forward to the commercials.
Provided no contact, and your bond hearing will occur at a different date. The court is not authorized to set your bond. And the purpose of a preliminary.
Fast forward to the
You have the option of a right to a trial or a right to an attorney.
Is my chat not working again? Son of a bitch. My chat's not working again, is it?
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Yeah, my chat's not working again.
All
right, Jacob, bye.
We will take the female inmates first, beginning with Ms. Lopez. and then we will go in order, alphabetical order, and then we'll do that with the gentleman and try to get out of here as quickly as possible.
There we go, sorry. I gotta watch my chat over here.
Charged with aggravated assault.
Okay, here we go.
Ms. Lopez, you are charged with aggravated assault, battery, criminal trespass, and 3 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. 3 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree.
3 counts of cruelty to children. Lovely. All right, guys, I gotta call the doctor real quick and set up an appointment. Donnie, I'm not giving you a treat.
Yes, see?
All right, I gotta make a phone call. I'll be right back.
For the aggravated assault charge, your bond is $15,000.
Para el cargo de ataque agraviado, la fianza se establece en $15,000.
For the battery charge, your bond is $5,000.
Para el cargo de batería, su fianza se establece en $5,000.
For the criminal trespass, your bond is $3,500.
Para el allanamiento criminal o traspaso criminal es de $3,500 la fianza.
And for each count of cruelty to children, your bond is $3,500 each.
Y para cada uno de los cargos estar afectando a los niños es de $3,500 por cada uno de ellos.
Your total bond is $34,000.
Esto hace que su fianza total ascienda a $34,000.
Condition of your bond is that you must stay away from Rizal Gomez.
Además de eso, como otra condición para su fianza es que usted permanezca alejada de Harry Soul Gómez,
Kendra Alcala,
Kendra Acala,
Scarlett Rios,
Carly Ríos,
Ethan Gomez.
Ethan Gómez.
You should have no contact with any of those individuals. Do you understand?
No puede tener contacto con ninguno de esos individuos. ¿Está claro?
Sí. You shall not return to 253 Whippoorwill Way in Riverdale.
No puede estar regresando a las 253 Whippoorwill Way en Libertyville.
Riverdale.
Oh, Riverdale. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You may go with the sheriff to retrieve your personal property, but you shall not go back to that property for any reason until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. Do you understand?
Usted puede ir junto con el sheriff para poder recoger sus artículos personales. Sin embargo, usted no puede estar regresando a esta propiedad por ningún otro motivo. ¿Queda claro?
Sí. Pero una de ellas es mi hija.
Come back. It's not your daughter.
Violate. What's she saying about her, hija? What is that?
That's her daughter.
Yes, Your Honor. I just heard the word hija, but I couldn't hear the question. Can I ask for her to repeat?
Repeat. Por favor.
Señora, repita, por favor.
This judge does not like people
Pero
translating.
una de ellas es mi hija.
One of them is my daughter.
I understand, but they are the alleged victims. You should have no contact with anybody I've named earlier. Do you understand?
Entiendo, señora, pero es quien se alega ser la víctima. Por lo tanto, es por eso que le dije, no puede tener ningún contacto con ninguna de las personas que nombré antes. ¿Queda claro?
Sí or no?
Sí.
¿Sí o no?
She said,
Sí.
you must not violate any laws while out on bond.
No puede estar violando la ley mientras usted esté bajo fianza.
Are you able to make bond?
¿Va a poder poner su fianza?
Are you able to make?
Señora, ¿va a usted poder pagar la fianza?
Sí.
Yes.
Your next court date is July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201.
By the way, guys, this is from June 19th.
La siguiente corte le toca el 6 de julio a las 8 de la mañana en el cuarto 201.
Have a good day.
Que tenga buen día.
Gracias.
Thank you, David. That's all I need. Have a good day, okay?
Really, right now, Hope? You're gonna make me give him a treat? I just gave him a treat. You're gonna make my dogs fat.
Cheyenne and Saline.
This judge does not like people.
My computer is still really loud.
This judge is not happy.
Ma'am, you were charged with battery, family violence. Do you understand your charge? Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from Fabian King, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond? This is a misdemeanor offense. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day, Miss. How do you say your name?
Cheyenne and Celine.
And Celine, you had a question?
I wanted to know if I would be able to go to collect my things if I go with the sheriff at the house.
I'm not doing I didn't do a stay away for you. So you can go back to the house. I did a stay away for Mr. King. Y'all live there together? Oh, you're gonna go back. He's gonna go back with the sheriff's escort, but you can have no contact with him.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. Brianna.
So I'm sorry. I can go back with the without the sheriff escort. He has to go with the sheriff escort.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Brianna Headset.
Why they gotta kick the mail out?
Hey, Your Honor.
Good morning. You are charged with theft by shoplifting and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Do you understand your charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the shoplifting, your bond is $2,000. On the contributing to the delinquency of a minor, your bond is $7,000 for a total of $9,000. A condition of your bond is that you shall not return to Walmart on Venmo Block Road, and you shall not violate any laws out on bond. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you able to make bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
These are misdemeanor offenses. You have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Tiffany Henry should be next. Ms. Henry, you are charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree and theft by taking. Do you understand your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
On the criminal damage to property in the second degree, your bond is $8,000. That is a felony charge. On the theft by taking, the bond is $2,000. You shall stay away from Marquise Mann. Do you all reside together?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You shall have no contact with him. You don't reside together, so that should be a little bit easier, correct?
We work together, but
Y'all work together on the same shift?
yeah.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So
You
you
losing
need
your
to
job.
get with your supervisor and let them know you have a no contact. Can you do a different shift? I don't want you to lose your job.
I can tell him that I have a no contact, but I don't think he'll be able to put me.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a no contact. You can get a different shift. I want that for you. I don't want you to lose your job, but we have to, make sure that we put things in place for the alleged victim. Now, you do have an attorney that's going to be appointed to represent you. Talk to your lawyer. Maybe he or she can figure out a way to get that condition modified for you. Okay? But you do understand my order, correct? It's not violating laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
How much am I buying?
It's a total of $10,000.
I believe so, ma'am.
This is a felony offense. Your next court date will be July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Oh, hold on 1 second. It's some paperwork I'm supposed to be completing. Give me 1 second.
What's up, Ziggy? What's up, Mylanta? I'm sorry, guys. My little chat bot is not working for some reason. So, hello. I'm trying to keep an eye on everything. Also, you know what? I found a mug. Let me see where. It's like a really big one. Here it is. I gotta show this one to you. I thought about you when I listed this yesterday. Well, let me see what you guys are seeing here. Can you see it? I was like, I gotta show that to Ziggy.
All right, we are back on the record. Deputies, I like to keep this thing rolling, but I like to have my paperwork together as well. Are you Miss Ivana Kellis? Kellis?
She's like, yes, sir.
You were charged with criminal trespass, damage to property, simple assault, family violence, and battery of family violence. Do you understand your charges? You said yes? Your bond is $10,500. Condition of your bond is
damn, look at that fro.
From Helen Drumright and Wesley Brook. You shall not return to 10341 Beta Court in Jonesboro. It was indicated on the warrantless arrest affidavit.
I got my stepdad's here. I'll be right back, guys.
Warrant that this is your residence. As such, I will allow you to go with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without an escort. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you able to make bond?
Yes.
You must also not violate any laws of out on bond. These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
There's a squirrel out there.
Please sign your waiver, because you're not going to be able to go back to this address. When you bond out, you need to make sure they have an updated address in your mail, because you're not going to be able to go back and check your mail. And I don't want you to miss your court date, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is this Jada Smith? Give me one moment.
Yes, sir. Can I help you? I don't know why my restream chat is not working anymore. Well, come here then. You're not getting a treat, though. You've had way too many treats already. What's up, Freckles? How you ladies doing today? Hope y'all are having a good day. Well, then come here. You're not getting a treat, though. Are you stuck again? This guy whines about everything.
Miss Smith, you were charged with battery.
Jeez Louise. Never had a dog that whined as much as Donnie does.
No. You're charged with battery, family violence. Your bond is, do you understand your charges?
Sorry, Mylanta.
The officer said it was only battery. I'm not understanding the family violence part.
It is alleged that you intentionally made physical contact with a person of Kobe Hawkins, which resulted in visible physical injury. The officer offender and victim got into an argument, that you did bite the victim, which broke the skin on the thigh of the victim, that both you and the victim live in the same home together. Your bond is $3,500. You are to stay away from Kobe Hawkins, and you shall not return to 5530 S8 in Old Dixie.
Old
It is
Dixie.
indicated that as a shared residence, as such, I will allow you to go with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you may not go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. Do you understand?
I understand.
You must not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond? This is a misdemeanor offense, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Thank you. Please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Make sure you have an updated address because you will not be allowed to go back to that address once you retrieve your personal property and you don't want to miss your court date. Have a good day, ma'am. Yes, please.
I guess you guys missed all the lies that they were telling during the
You are
hearing
charged with
earlier.
simple assault, family violence, criminal trespass, damage to property, and disorderly conduct. Do you understand your charges? Your bond on the simple assault is $3,500. On the criminal trespass, it is $3,500, and on the disorderly conduct, it is $1,500, for a total of $8,500. You must stay away from Douglas Fuller. And is y'all's residence 1677 Camden Forest Way or 1669 Camden Forest Way?
1677.
You shall not return to 1677 Camden Forest Way in Riverdale.
I heard Riverdale's a bad area.
I will allow you to go with the sheriff's escort to retrieve your personal property, but you cannot go back to that property for any reason once you get your personal property, unless that condition is modified by another judge or until this case is resolved. Do you understand?
Yes.
You shall not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes. How much is my bond again?
The total is $8,500.
$8,500.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Thank you, ma'am. Please sign your waiver. Leave it with the deputy. Have a good day. Like I said, everybody else, I'm sure you heard it, because you cannot go back there. Make sure you update your address so that you don't miss your court date, okay?
She's not happy.
What's your name, ma'am?
Linda Walker.
Give me 1 second, Ms. Walker.
If you guys have Facebook, you should join my Facebook. I finally added my link to Facebook on here somewhere. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. I can't get that song out of my head now. Gosh darn it. Okay, what this older lady is she older? Yeah, she's older. What do you think this older lady did?
Ms. Walker, you're charged with criminal trespass. That's by shoplifting and terroristic threat.
Shoplifting.
I dismissed the terroristic threat charge that was brought against you. But the other two charges do still remain. I'll be candid, the only reason I dismissed it is because the officer did not do a good job of detailing what was alleged, but it was alleged that you did say that you wanted to beat somebody's $8 dollar. But I'm going to dismiss it because the name was not
that's new
on the warrantless arrest affidavit. Do
That's
you understand
a new
your
one.
other two charges though?
$8
Yes.
I gotta remember that one.
Your bond on the criminal trespass is $3,500, and your bond on the theft by shoplifting is $2,000, for a total of $5,500. Conditions of your bond are that you shall not have any contact with any of the employees at the Piedmont Park store, and you shall not return to Piedmont Park store for any reason, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you able to make bond?
No.
Ms. Walker, these are misdemeanor offenses, which means you still have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. If you're unable to make bond, what they will do is bring you over for your arraignment date, or you can have your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive, or would you like to have it?
I can pay my bond.
You wish to waive your preliminary hearing, ma'am? That was my question.
Yes.
Okay, please sign the waiver, leave it with the deputy, and your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Mail? Okay.
She had a question. Did you have a question, or she just?
No, man, she just rambling.
Okay. Do we have, are we now on the gentleman?
Yes, ma'am. Which one's next, ma'am?
I have Fabian King. Is that what you have?
Ziggy Piggy, what movie is that from? Do you know what movie that's from?
Okay, we're kicking with Grease now.
I know what movie that's from. I love that movie. It's a good movie.
Mr. King, you are charged with battery, family violence. Do you understand your charge? I can't see his face, y'all. He's a little taller. You can. I'll ask again, sir. Do you understand your charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is $3,500. You shall have no contact with Cheyenne A. Saline. You shall not return to 696 Georgetown Lane. It was indicated that that is a shared residence. As such, I will allow you to go with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property for any other reason until this matter is resolved or until that condition is modified by another judge. Do you understand? I see you have a question. Answer mine first. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
I will let you answer your question.
She don't play. This chick don't play.
I told you when we started. That's the only thing I don't like. People interrupted me. All right, we was doing good. Don't be the first person to mess up.
I love this.
You must not violate any laws without on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Once you get done asking your question, you're going to sign the waiver and leave it with the deputy. Now, what's your question, Mr. King?
Like the residence is technically mine, like on the name on the lease. The residence is mine.
Yes, sir. So I've appointed an attorney to represent you. You can speak with your lawyer about getting that condition modified. And perhaps he or she will be able to get that condition modified for the time being, though that condition is put in place. Okay? But I do have a lawyer to represent you, so you can talk to your lawyer about that, show them the lease and all of that, and go from there.
Hold on. All right, I got
That was your only question?
Potential spam. Don't you hate? I get so many potential spam calls here. I think this is it. Let's see. I think this is it. Isn't it it?
In the late 1800s, she was a premier dancer in the Underground Railroad. Back when Kunta Kinte was big balling and shot calling, everybody said the tricks is for kids, and she got 4 of them motherfuckers. So give it up for tricks.
Oh, this wasn't it. Sorry, never mind. That wasn't it. Hold on, my stepdad's here. I gotta go help him unload. I'll be right back.
All right, have a good day. Eldon Langford.
Come on, Diane, go help Papa.
Mr. Langford, you were charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and simple battery. Do you understand your charges? What was that?
I do. Yes, Your Honor.
You do not have a bond on the aggravated assault. You do have a bond on the simple battery. Should you get a bond at a later date, a condition of that bond will be to stay away from David Wilson. However, as I stated, at this time, you do not have a bond. Your next court date will be July 6th at 8:30 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Nodi McDaniel. Nati, my apologies. Mr. McDaniel. You are charged with obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charge?
Yes, ma'am.
If this is a misdemeanor count of obstruction of an officer, your bond is $3,500 and you shall not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond? That was a yes. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
This is a misdemeanor offense, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Please sign your waiver.
Can you explain the preliminary?
Sign your waiver. What would you say?
Can you explain the preliminary hearing again?
No, you don't understand it, so I'm gonna go ahead and set it now for July 5th. And I'm not being mean, but we gotta get this rolling. So if you still don't understand, that means you're not able to make it.
Sorry. I understand. I'm waiving it.
So you just wanted me to explain it, and then all of a sudden you understand it?
No, because I remember what they was telling me back there. I'm sorry, but I
You remember now?
I understand.
Okay, so you do understand and you do want to waive. Okay, sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy, and then your next court date will come in the mail, okay? Have a good day.
All
Jimmy,
right,
what
sorry
was it?
guys. Donnie loves his treats, and Papa gives him treats all the time. Yeah, my extended warranty, right? No, it's my stepdad's 87th birthday today, and he had to go to the VA hospital to go get his yearly annual checkup. And they said he's doing better this year than he was last year, and he's 87, so good news. Good news.
Hold on one second.
If I don't go out there, then he goes and Donnie runs to my stepdad and will jump on him, and I'm afraid Donnie will knock him over, so. Because you know Donnie, he's a little brat. I still do not know why my
Mr. Moses,
freaking...
you are charged with battery,
Chat's not
family
working.
violence. Oh, my camera's not on. You are charged with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, simple assault, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. I have dismissed the charge of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Your other 3 charges still stand. Do you understand your other 3 charges?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Why are you
Your
dismissing
bond
the other
is
stuff?
$10,500. Condition of your bond is you must stay away from, excuse me, let me say it, or you have $3,000 for each charge that's remaining for a total of $10,500. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You shall stay away from Anitra Wilson. You shall not return to 225 B37 AA in Jonesboro, and you must not violate any laws or out on bond. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you able to make bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Devontavious Neville, you're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Neville, you're charged with giving a false name and date of birth. Do you understand your charge?
No. No, Your Honor.
It is alleged that on June 18th at William Drive in Morrow that you, Devontavious Neville, knowingly gave the wrong name and date of birth to law enforcement officers. When Neville was asked to provide his name and date of birth, he said his name was Devontavious Nevius and his date of birth was November 2nd, 1992. Name was checked via GCIC, NCIC, and the inquiry returned back stating the name wasn't on file. Neville then stated his name was Devontavious Neville and his date of birth was 11/2/1996. This name was also checked by GCIC, NCIC, and the inquiry didn't return back. Neville's correct name and date of birth was discovered via GCIC, NCIC. Neville appeared to be intoxicated. Neville was discovered to have a warrant out of Whitfield County, Georgia, for probation violation. This incident occurred in Clayton County, Georgia. That's the allegation. Your bond is $3,500. You must not violate any laws or out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
No.
How do people not understand that
It's
the
a
courts
misdemeanor offense. It means you
are
have
going
to
to catch
waive
you?
your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Your next court date will be July 5th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
You know, I went times without paying my tickets, and as soon as the cops pulled me over, I'm like,
price.
all right, I'm going to go to jail. And I figured out God was telling me it was time to go pay my debt.
Hello, give me 1 second.
I didn't lie and say, oh, no, my name's not Eddie.
The price you're charged with obstruction of an officer, speeding 16 to 20 miles over the speed limit, obstruction of your license, distracted driving, violation of the seatbelt law, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, a felony count of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, no license on person, and simple battery on a police officer. Do you understand your charges?
Oh, he's screwed.
For
Battery on a
the
cop.
obstruction of an officer charge, your bond is $7,000. For the speeding, $500. The obstruction of a license plate, $500. Distracted driving, $500. Violation of the seatbelt law, $500. Possession of a marijuana less than an ounce, it is $7,000. The license violation is $1,000, and simple battery on a police officer is $3,500, for a total of $22,000. A condition of your bond is that you must not violate any laws without bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh shit, he got that kind of money. I could have made
Some
that
of your
bond.
charges are felonies, so I went ahead and set you down for a court date of July 6th at 8 a.m.
Actually, yeah, I could.
in room 201. Have a good day.
You know, if the judge told me you got $2,000 or $20,000 bond, I'd just sit in jail. I'd wait my time out. Why pay that much money to get out of jail just to go right back to jail?
Robinson?
What do I want? Okay, hope for lunch. Where are you going? What are you getting for lunch? I'll take if you go to what do you call it? What's it called? Go to Deli Delicious. I'll take the roast beef sandwich, the French dip roast beef sandwich. Or heck, you're buying. You know what? Can we go to Ruth Chris? Can you buy me a nice cowboy style ribeye steak from Ruth Chris? It's only like what, $62? It's my birthday coming up. My birthday's next month.
You're charged with DUI and hit and run. Do you understand your charges?
Ooh, DUI, hit and run.
Your bond for the DUI is $5,000. Your bond for the hit and run is $1,500, for a total of $6,500. A condition of your bond is that you shall not violate any laws while I'm on bond. Are you able to make bond?
You don't know what Ruth Chris is?
Offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Oh my gosh. All right.
Thank you. Please sign your...
You just told me that I gotta do this. I gotta show you Ruth Chris steak.
Designing a unique type of broiler to cook steaks at an ultra-high temperature of 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. The steak might also briefly hit the oven afterward if the customer requests one that's cooked beyond the medium range. A former chef for Ruth's Chris Steakhouse confirmed via Quora, each steak is broiled in special broilers made for Ruth's. This enriches those flavors by cooking at a very high temp. To those who are unfamiliar with advances in kitchenware, it's kind of a big deal. According to Fine Cooking, infrared broilers are unique because they get very hot very quickly and tend to heat more evenly than traditional gas or electric grills and stoves.
Right, Freckles?
Is there anything butter doesn't improve? This dairy section all-star doesn't miss a beat when it's time to make a steak really sizzle and shine. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse does not shy away from the old butter tray either. According to the New York Times, Ruth Fertel sealed the deal with her steaks by insisting her kitchen staff top every single piece of steak with a generous portion of butter prior to serving it. Apparently, this always ensures the most flavor possible out of the experience.
It is so
This isn't just some unconfirmed bit of folklore about Ruth's famous matriarch either. As a Quora member who worked at Ruth's Chris explained in a thread, their little trick is they put clarified butter on the steak as it is leaving the kitchen. They go on to say that this tactic also adds to that sizzle factor the restaurant is known for, adding, "The plate is scorching hot because they keep them in the oven and the room temperature butter hits the plate and sizzles for effect."
Right.
Ruth's Chris restaurants take on a wet aging process for steaks, in which the meat is refrigerated for up to 28 days at a temperature designated by the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse culinary team. The steaks are then immediately sealed to keep in all of the meat's juices and sent to the restaurant in that state. It's never frozen at any point in the process. Aging allows enzymes to break down so that the ultimate result is a more tender piece of steak. Colin Shive, the current general manager and former executive chef at a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse location in Chesterfield, Missouri, talked about the process on St. Louis Fox 2 News.
Once the beef is processed, we age it 28 days to develop the flavor and the tenderness.
So it seems this deliberate aging technique is the standard protocol for every Ruth's Chris location.
Oh my gosh.
When the Ruth's Chris
Yeah, see
steakhouse
how it's
server sets your ribeye
sizzling?
down
That's
with
how
a
it
special
comes
oven
down.
mitt holding the plate and he or she warns you not to touch it, they're not just putting on a show. Those are some really hot plates. Not only does this ensure that every bite of steak is warm, but it also makes for that sound that we all know equates to a delicious steak, the Ruth's Chris signature sizzle. But why bother heating those plates up in the first place? A Ruth's Chris employee breaks it down like this on Reddit. We do the 500-degree plate thing, mainly so your first bite is as hot as your last. It's also that hot to make it so all of your senses are stimulated down to the sound of the sizzling butter on the plate. Also, if that butter from the top of the steak hits the plate, you know it's going to sizzle there too, adding its own bit of wow factor to the dining experience. As you can clearly see, the hot plate technique is key at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. The term USDA Prime might sound like some sort of fancy marketing gimmick to make Ruth's Chris steak sound ultra special, but it's actually legit. The chain only serves USDA Prime cuts, which are the best possible quality of beef that's available in the country's cattle supply. The USDA inspects all the beef we consume, and only 2% of that beef is considered prime. Prime meat is usually more tender because it comes from younger cows, and it's usually a high-end restaurant offering, not what's on tap at the local grocery store. While there are some arguments that grass-fed beef is more sustainable and more nutrient-dense than the cattle who eat both grass and corn, the corn eaters tend to yield a steak that's got more flavor, at least according to proponents of the meat. Ruth's Chris sources its beef from cattle that start as grass-fed, then transition to eating corn, a common practice of many cattle ranchers.
That's the
according to
tomahawk.
Penn
I had
State
that one
Extension.
time, the big one.
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse founder Ruth Fertel is still put on a pedestal by the restaurant more than a decade after her death, and rightfully so. Her original restaurant in New Orleans created a system that clearly works, at least in the eyes of the restaurant's many diners and its executives. When former CEO Craig S. Miller took the reins in 2004, he told the New York Times, "The first thing I did was get a little plaque to put on my desk that said, 'What would Ruth do?'" According to a Redditor who worked at the steakhouse, the restaurant strives to continually maintain her standards, saying, "Honestly, the company rarely deviates from anything Ruth implemented herself. I think we will always have the family-style sides, sizzling plates, and butter in almost every food item." Ruth Fertel once told the Orlando Sentinel that the secret to running a successful steakhouse is being very, very consistent with your food, that and giving good service. Most would agree that her legacy of top-notch service and consistently delicious food has definitely lived on.
You can go into any Ruth's Chris Steakhouse around the
I
country
love
or
Ruth's Chris.
around the world.
I just can't
and
afford it all the
You're always
time.
going to get a consistently great meal because they get and serve the best of the best.
When you're talking about steak, if the meat is high quality, then it stands that there shouldn't be a need for a ton of seasoning. Ruth's Chris definitely proves this with its successful run of steak slinging that isn't bothered with fanciful add-ons or rare ingredients. What does the chain use to season a ribeye cut, for example? A Ruth's Chris Steakhouse executive chef at a location in Waikiki, Hawaii, told Hawaii News Now that it's all pretty easy.
Sea salt and pepper, that's it.
Simple.
Very, very simple.
All the higher-ups at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse maintain that all any cut
Okay, you guys are gonna make me want to go get Ruth Chris. Let's go back over here.
Waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Julia Short should be next.
Sure.
I can tell you, Ruth Chris, I love their steaks. It's just the best.
Are you Mr. Short?
He is short.
You are charged with criminal trespass and battery. Do you understand your charges?
No, ma'am.
It's actually battery and family violence. It is alleged that you got into a verbal argument with the victim, Darius Rhodes, about their relationship. The offender and the victim are dating each other and currently live together. The offender took the victim's cell phone and refused to give it back. The offender admitted to taking the victim's phone and not giving it back to the victim after the victim repeatedly asked for it. When the victim took to grab the cell phone from the offender pushed the victim in the chest area. The offender continued to push the victim in the chest area as the victim continued to obtain his property from the offender. This action led to the offender to start physically punching the victim. The victim obtained multiple scratches, bruises to his right arm. This incident occurred in Clayton County. As such, you are charged with, as I stated, criminal trespass and battery and family violence. Your bond on the criminal trespass is $3,500. Your bond on the battery and family violence is $3,500 for a total of $7,000. Condition of your bond is that you shall stay away from Darius Rhodes. You shall not return to 1960 Campfire Drive in Riverdale. Is that y'all's residence?
Yes.
As such, I will allow you to go back to that property for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. with a sheriff's escort. You cannot go back without a sheriff's escort for any other purpose, for any other reason, until this matter is resolved or until this condition is modified by another judge. You shall not violate any laws of bond. You understand all of those special conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was that?
Yes, Judge.
Are you able to make bond?
Yes. Yes, Judge.
These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Okay, please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy, because your address is gonna be different than the one here. Make sure you get an updated address so they know where to send you your mail, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Joe Shorter.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I was like, damn, Judge, you looking hot
Mr. Shorter,
today.
you charged
Can
with
I get
forgery of
out?
third degree, identity fraud, and possession of a fake ID, deposit account fraud. Do you understand those charges?
No, Your Honor.
How do you not understand what you did? Did my stream end? It's the stream results.
So it is accused that or alleged that you did use or possess a, excuse me, I said possession of a fake ID. It's actually possession of a fake check. Do you still not understand?
Yes, sir. I don't understand.
It is alleged that you did, without the permission of the victim, Mr. Wiley, use or possess a fraudulent check that contained the victim's Southern Credit Union account number with intent to fraudulently use identifying information concerning the victim. That you did possess and deposit a fraudulent check containing the victim's account information into the Bank of America ATM, and that's what the charges are. So for each of those charges, your bond is $10,000 for a total of $30,000 bond. You should have no contact with the alleged victim, Mr. Wiley, and you shall not violate
you
any
don't see
laws
my
of
fat
bond.
belly.
Are you able to make bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
These are felony offenses. Your next court date will be July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
I said good day. That's another one I gotta download. I said good day. I got a lot of stuff I gotta download to add to this. I'm blurry. I'm blurry. Why would I be blurry? Or the judge is blurry. Am I blurry?
Stroud?
Hold on.
You are charged with aggravated. You said you're Mr. Stroud, right?
I'm not blurry. I'm looking at it in 1080p right now on me.
You are charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and simple battery. Do you understand your charge?
Yes, sir.
On the aggravated assault, you do not have a bond. On the simple battery, your bond is $10,000. If you get a bond, a condition of that bond is that you should stay away from Chauncey Barnes. Do you understand?
It doesn't show me blurry. I'm watching it on YouTube so I can watch your guys' comments.
These are one of your charges is a felony offense. Your next court date is July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
I said good day. I'm looking right at me right now. I'm in perfect focus.
Anatomy T. Is that your?
Maybe leave YouTube and come back real quick. That's weird, cause I'm.
Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. He just informed us that he needs a French interpreter.
What's up, Graw?
We've been communicating with him all morning.
Here, let me open up.
He told us that he's in line.
Let me go into my Discord, Graw, so you can join.
Adam needs a French interpreter.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll take him last. Who do I have in front of me?
Come on, this is him.
We'll take him last.
Ma'am.
Thank you for
Yeah, Mr. Trailer.
Thank you so much.
All right, Graw, I'm in Discord if you want to jump in. I can't see my chat though. My restreamer is messing up for some reason.
You said this is the trailer?
Okay, Ziggy, thank you.
Give me 1 second.
Glad it wasn't me. Not saying I want it to be you, but I'm just glad I wasn't bad. I got the matching mug and coffee and what do you call it? Bowl.
Mr. Trailer, you are charged with battery family violence. Do you understand your charge? Your bond is $3,500. The condition of your bond is you shall stay away from Shaquilla Parks. You shall not return to 5030 Old Dixie. It was indicated that that is your shared residence. As such, I will allow you to go with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you cannot go back to that property without a sheriff's escort until this matter is modified, that condition is modified, or until this matter is closed. Do you understand?
Yes, but the
Check
apartment is
one,
my name.
1, 2, check 1,
You understand
2.
my conditions, right?
I hear ya. I hear ya.
You should
It's my apartment.
No, right on. I've been busy
You
this morning,
understand
just
my
got back.
conditions, right?
I'm gonna be busy off and on here for a little bit, but I'll be in and out, but I'll hang out right here, probably muted though, you know.
All right. Do you want me to restream it so you can hear her directly? Like I normally do.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. We were watching the court. What do you call it? The hearing earlier. So.
Oh man, I hate that.
It was a Roe versus Wade hearing we were watching earlier.
Right. I watched some of that, a little bit.
Watching all them, all them leftists try and lie to you. They're saying, yeah, if this, because of Roe versus Wade being God, you can no longer, if you're about to die, you have to die so the baby can live. That's bullshit.
There's 330 million people here, and they're worried about the one little 10-year-old girl. And
Right.
besides that, correct me if I'm wrong, you kill a pregnant female, and you're charged with 2 counts of murder. You can't have it both ways.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't claim that that's a life and then do what they want to do.
These
All right.
liberals are just psycho.
I'm cooking. I'll be back.
All right, I'm gonna keep playing courtroom.
Right on.
All right, girl.
I don't have nowhere to go, but I'm the only one apartment.
Okay.
I'm the only one
So
staying.
let's stop.
What's up, Robin?
I
Hi,
asked you a
Ziggy.
specific question.
Ooh, don't tickle me, Ziggy. Don't tickle
I
me.
asked you, do you understand my back here unless you have a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved? And you said yes, but you gave me a lot of information. So that confuses me. Do you understand my order that you cannot go back there without a sheriff's escort until this matter is resolved or until this condition is modified by another judge?
Yes, ma'am.
This
You
judge
must not
does
violate laws
fuck
without a
around.
bond. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a misdemeanor offense, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to do that?
Yes, I'm away.
Okay, you need to sign your waiver and leave it with the deputy. Now, I did hear you say several times that that is your property or that's your apartment. As I stated, I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Share that information with your lawyer. He or she may be able to get the judge to modify the bond condition. So I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying for right now, all I want you to know is you can't go back there until that condition is modified by another judge, and you understand that, right?
Well,
Okay, so share that information with your lawyer. He or she may be able to get that condition modified, but for the time being, I am gonna order you to stay away from that property unless you're going with the sheriff to get your stuff, okay? Have a good day.
Can I just say this, ladies?
Wow.
The first time your man hits you, it's not gonna be the last time. So why, just don't even let him come back. Just like the minute somebody cheats on you, they're fucking gone. Just get rid of them, right? Like they say, there are plenty of fish in the sea. If somebody cheats on you, if somebody beats you, if somebody treats you like shit, don't stay with them. I stayed married for longer than I should have. I was treated like shit. And the only reason I did not leave is because my wife at the time, had 2 degrees, college degrees, but she liked working at this homeless shelter where she only worked 20 hours a week and made $11 an hour. If I were to kick her out of the house or because I paid for the house, I paid for her car, I paid all the bills. I paid the mortgage every month, and I even paid the mortgage off early. We paid our house off in 6 years. We paid our house off. Had I gone and said, okay, fine, you got to go, and we got a divorce, she wouldn't have been able to afford anything because of her work. When you're only making she would drive, it would cost her $10 in gas to get to work every day, and she made $40 a day before taxes. So, she couldn't afford to live off that. So I stayed married because I didn't want her going out on her own. Then once I found out she was actually cheating on me, it was done and over with. And, you know, she kept telling me, well, if you ever die, I'll be fine, right? Well, guess what? Now she's all on her own. I hear she's about to lose her fucking house. The only reason she's got her car is because I paid off the car, right? When we got divorced, I had to pay her a whole bunch of money. I paid off her car. She got to keep her car. And I'm happier now. I'm so much happier now. I'm a much happier person now that I'm single. And if I do get married again, it's going to have to be the right fucking person. There's no way in hell I'm going to get into a relationship like that. Because you know what? There's always somebody else. There's always somebody else. Just saying. Men and women. Sorry I had to do the speech. I just wanted to do it.
Mr. Wall, you are charged with following too closely, a license violation and violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, a felony. Do you understand your charges? You say yes, ma'am? Sir, your bond on the following too closely is $500. Your bond on the license charge is $1,000.
Right, Sneaky
and
Pete?
your bond on the felony drug charge is $7,000 for a total of $8,500. You must not violate any laws of out on bond, and that is a special condition of your bond. Are you able to make bond?
I think so. Really have.
Once again,
As I stated, the drug charge is a felony, so I've set your court date for July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day. Octavius Williams.
Hey, Sneaky Pete, didn't you say Riverdale was like a really bad neighborhood? Because almost all these people are in Riverdale.
Mr. Williams, you are charged with battery on a police officer, simple battery on a police officer, pedestrian impeding a walkway, and obstruction of an officer. Do you understand your charges? Yeah. On the simple battery on an officer, your bond is $3,500. On the pedestrian charge, your bond is $500. On the obstruction of an officer charge, your bond is $500 for a total of $7,500. You must not violate any laws of out on bond. Are you able to make bond? These are misdemeanor offenses. Do you wish to waive your preliminary
That's what I
hearing?
thought you said.
What you mean, like come back to court or?
The waiver, like I mentioned earlier, is you're waiving your preliminary hearing so you can go ahead and move the matter forward and go to the state court. You wish to waive it or no? I can't hear you, sir.
Waive it or what else?
I'm gonna set you down. I don't feel like you understand what a waiver is, and so I'm gonna set you down for July 5th at 8 a.m. in room 201. You can speak with your lawyer about whether or not you want to waive it later, but for right now, I don't find that you can make a knowing waiver. So I'm gonna set you down for the 5th at 8:30 a.m. Have a good day, sir. So we need to get an interpreter for Mr. Tommy T. He says he needs French.
French.
All
Wow.
right, let's stand by. We'll try to get this done.
They got a French person there. Parlez-vous français? Why don't you just use Google Translate?
Yeah, go ahead and mute at the jail.
Can they use Google Translate? This judge does not play around. And I don't like you saying that, but it seems like every day these judges are like more like don't want to take shit from anybody. Like I'm reading their chat room. They're even saying like, yeah, this judge don't play around. Okay, let's keep fast forwarding.
Can you all bring Mr.
Oh, here we go. I love it when judges don't
All
play
right,
around.
we have Mike, who was the interpreter, present. Can you all bring Mr. Tomity up?
Let's see what this Frenchie
Mike, we
looks
are
like.
streaming live on YouTube, and it is through Zoom, so I need you to speak as loudly as you can. Mike, do you swear to interpret? Do you swear to interpret from English to French and from French to English in accordance with your training and experience? So help you so say I do.
I do.
Good morning, Mr. Tomity.
Bonjour, Monsieur Tomati.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Can you hear the interpreter?
Est-ce que vous entendez l'interprète?
Oui, je vous entends parfaitement.
Yes, I hear you perfectly well.
This is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County?
I'm sorry, ma'am, could you please repeat that? I could not quite hear you.
This is your first appearance before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County?
C'est votre première apparition devant du comté de Clayton?
I'm going to inform you of the rights, set bail, and set your upcoming court date.
Je vais vous informer de vos droits, mettre en place une caution et vous donner votre prochaine date au tribunal.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Au cours de cette procédure et des procédures à venir, vous aurez droit aux droits suivants.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence.
Are you serious, Sneaky Pete? That bad?
You have the right to a indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
You have the right to the indictment by the grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
Donc vous avez droit à des accusations par le jury pour la plupart des crimes et des accusations également pour la plupart des délits mineurs.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Vous avez droit à un procès public et rapide avec un jury public.
You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Do you guys think this is a penguin or just a little bird, a little chick? What do you think, a penguin or a chick? Little
You have the right to subpoena witnesses on your own behalf.
baby chick or penguin? Trying to figure it out.
You have the right to testify and offer evidence if you want.
Vous avez le droit de témoigner et produire des preuves si vous le désirez.
But you are not required to do so, and failure to do so does not presume any kind of guilt on your behalf.
Mais vous n'y êtes pas obligé et si vous ne le faites pas, cela n'indiquera pas que vous êtes coupable.
You have the right to have an attorney represent you.
I can't find it on Google
Vous avez le droit d'avoir un avocat pour
anywhere.
vous représenter.
Please raise your right hand.
Levez votre main avec laquelle vous écrivez.
Do you swear or affirm that the information that you gave this court in your application for court-appointed counsel and any other
12-year-old shot a
information you give this
17-year-old
court is
dog
true and
walking.
correct?
Are you serious?
Est-ce que vous jurez ou
What's this
acceptez
world
que
coming
les
to?
informations que vous avez données au tribunal ou autres informations que vous fournirez au tribunal sont correctes?
Did you fill out this form
Est-ce que vous avez rempli ce formulaire
that's written in English?
qui est écrit en anglais?
Oui, c'est formulaire il y a un formulaire qui m'a été donné que j'ai rempli.
Okay, I'm sorry, I could not hear. I'm going to have to ask him to repeat himself. Je m'excuse, monsieur, je n'ai pas entendu ce que vous avez dit. Est-ce que vous pouvez répéter, s'il vous plaît?
Je disais que il y a un formulaire qui m'a été donné que j'ai rempli ici.
Wow, that's really bad, Sneaky Pete.
I'm sorry, I still couldn't quite get that. It's very, like, echoing on his end.
Will you repeat again? Did you?
Yeah, it's a baby chick.
Did you fill out this form in English?
Est-ce que vous avez rempli ce formulaire en anglais?
Oui, il y a un formulaire ici que j'ai rempli.
There's a form here that I filled out.
Okay, and it was written in English?
Et c'est écrit en anglais?
Oui, ce formulaire est écrit en anglais.
Okay.
The form was written in English.
Please put your hand down.
Okay, vous pouvez baisser votre main.
I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You are charged with the following.
Vous êtes inculpé du suivant.
DUI,
Conduite en état d'ivresse.
open container,
Conteneur ouvert.
violation of your learner's permit,
He's only got a learner's permit and he's already got a DUI. Wow.
improper lane change,
Changement de voie illégal.
and failure to yield.
Et manquement à céder le passage.
Do you understand your charges?
Est-ce que vous comprenez ces chefs d'inculpation?
You have to
Do
watch out
you
for the
understand your
teenagers.
charges?
That's sad.
Vous comprenez ces inculpations?
That's really sad to hear.
For the DUI, your bond is $5,000.
Pour la conduite en état d'ivresse, votre caution s'élève à $5,000.
And for each additional charge, your bond is $500 each.
Et pour chacun des chefs d'inculpation supplémentaires, votre caution s'élève à $500 de plus.
For a total of $7,000.
Pour un total de $7,000.
You shall not violate any laws while out on bond.
I think she should
You
sentence
shall not
everybody to
violate any
learn
laws while out on
English.
bond.
I agree, girl. I agree.
Okay? Vous ne devrez pas
Totally agree.
enfreindre aucune loi sans en subir les conséquences.
You darn tootin'.
Are you able to make bond, sir?
Est-ce que vous pouvez payer votre caution?
Je peux payer, mais actuellement je suis carent. Si on peut me donner le temps, quand je travaille, je paye. Quand je travaille. Si on
This is
peut
the
me
first time
donner,
I've heard him
je paye.
heard him trying to get
Après,
French though.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's still very echoey. I heard about half of that. I'm going to have to ask him to repeat himself again. Sorry about that. Je m'excuse, monsieur, j'ai pas tout compris ce que vous avez dit. Ça résonne beaucoup quand vous parlez. Est-ce que vous pouvez répéter, s'il vous plaît?
Je dis que je peux payer parce que je travaille, je peux payer petit à petit. Je peux payer. Mais comme on m'accorde la liberté de travailler et de payer.
His language, French doesn't sound very. I thought French is supposed to be all.
Okay, thank you, sir. Your
Exciting.
next court date will be July 5th at 8:30 a.m. in room 201.
Do we have one for Gras?
Ok, merci beaucoup, monsieur. Votre prochaine date au tribunal sera le 5 juillet à 8h30 sur la pièce 201.
Have a good day.
Passez une bonne journée. Au revoir.
Oh yeah, that's what Gras says.
Thank you. Anybody else, Deputy? Thank you.
All right. there
Good
was-
day, sir.
This one was live today. Oh, they took it down already. Damn it. They took it down already. That JMAG court. Okay, well, let's go here. Let me see something. What was it called? Streams. Streams.texas.gov. Here we go. Municipal court. Let's see wonder what this is. And they're not live. Child protection court, no. Title IV court. I wonder what that is. 120th District Court. Let's see what this one's. El Paso.
That was just made. We strongly disagree that that is a correct recitation of the standards of the court. Case after case says that the court standard here is Rule 166, the Texas Rule of Civil Procedure that governs docket control.
I don't think that one's going to be a good one. Travis Court of Law 2. Travis County is Austin, Texas. And they're not in. I'm trying, guys.
I thought that last one looked pretty good.
The last one? Hold on.
Yeah, with the
not
6
that
box.
one. Okay, which one was that one? Travis Law Court 2, was that it? No, I keep going back to the same one. El Paso, the 120th district.
The court very directly says,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
quote, the trial court has the inherent right to change or modify its docket control order. It's quoting a Corpus Christi Court of Appeals case that says the exact same thing. That Corpus case, what I think is important to point out to this court, is cited by our El Paso Court of Appeals in a case called
What's up, Alex?
Will Roy versus Washington Mutual. This is a case from El Paso Court of Appeals dealing with resetting a motion for summary judgment hearing. And again, the standard is Rule 166.
Find a box
The court
for
says
this
we
one.
turn next to the appellant's arguments. The trial court abused its discretion by amending the scheduling order and extending the deadlines that had already passed. Rule 166 of the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure relates to pretrial conferences, and then it goes through the rule, and it says, and I'm quoting here, Rule 166 recognizes the fundamental rule that a trial court has the inherent right to change or modify any interlocutory order or judgment until the time judgment on the merits in the case becomes final. It also grappled with a similar argument that, well, there needed to be evidence of good cause, and rejected that and said this dispute focused on the court scheduling, control of its docket, weighing judicial equities, deciding what was right for the case, and ultimately Court of Appeals concluded that the trial court certainly did not abuse its discretion by modifying the scheduling order. And so I just wanted to reframe
No,
that.
I think this is just like one big courtroom
Rule
or court
5,
case.
in fact, the cases that are cited by GESPA in its response to our motion for leave are dealing with Texas Rule of Civil Procedure deadlines. So like a deadline that the rules contain, and then trying to go back and say, oh, court, grant us leave from a deadline the legislature or the Texas Supreme Court has determined. So that's Rule 5. Rule 166 is scheduling orders. And the El Paso Court of Appeals is saying in analyzing, modifying a dispositive motion deadline is looking at Rule 166, which the court has the inherent right to do. And again, to the extent there's going to be an argument about latches or what's appropriate in the form selection
Let's see if we can find something better.
That's a response to a motion to enforce, not a response to a motion to have the court hear it, to have the court hear.
Well, look, behind the mirrors live. Let's see what they're talking about right now.
They're all there. According to a report, just the DOJ's got like 600 different agencies.
In Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at.
Aren't-
I don't figure out why they need so many.
You know, see the point, Jeff. The point is,
Aren't these guys Graw that are all talking bad about aren't these all liberals?
They own the mall in the middle of
Yeah, they're actually talking about me and you today. Wizzy was on there.
Oh, was he?
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
As long as the cops let them keep
It's
doing
funny.
it, they'll go keep doing it.
I banned one of them like the day before yesterday because she said she was glad my dog died.
Are you
I'm
serious?
like, you're banned. Yeah. I'm like, you're banned. So they come crying back to Chris. Your moderator got right. So Harley banned me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they let him back in. So I was in there today. I was in there. I made like 2 comments the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
They banned me instantly. And all I did was say, make sure you please unsubscribe on your way out, because they have like 20. They have like 20 people in there. But Chris was on there today, and it was like 150 or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, you got to do me a favor, Alex. Stop telling everybody that they think you're weird. We don't think you're weird in here, bud. You don't got to tell us that. We don't think of you any differently. So you don't got to bring it up every day.
Yeah.
You seem like a cool person. Just don't bring that up, and maybe they won't think you're weird. I think you're making them think you're weird because you keep saying that. Just a little piece of advice. Sorry, girl, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Oh no, that's fine. Me and you's the only one that's weird in here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Hope.
No, Hope is definitely weird. Hope is definitely weird.
Yes, Hope's definitely weird.
Yeah. I think we're going to go back to that old lady's judge. Sorry.
All right, yeah.
But back to you're talking about Beyond the Mirror. Your favorite people.
Well, exactly. So if you go and you look at their letterhead or whatever it's called, their introduction, we're all about freedom of speech and we don't ban anybody or, you know. So one of their guys he decides he's going to play detective and he's like trying to dox me or find out who I am. He's like, so are you the guy that's on the show with Eddie Block?
Really?
With the insurrectionist Eddie Block? And of course I couldn't answer because I was blocked. So, and they're all like, oh, he's not replying because he doesn't have the intelligence to talk with us because we're so fucking smart.
Yeah, you're so smart that they call me an insurrectionist when I've never been charged with a single fucking thing. I've never even been cited, and there was no insurrection that day.
Doesn't matter to them.
No, they don't care. They don't care.
Hope says she is definitely totally weird.
Yeah, I can agree with that. She's a weirdo. She's that
I
weirdo.
agree. Everyone in chat, if you can agree that Hope is weird, type 1 in the chat.
Hold on, let me type 1. I'm gonna type a whole bunch of ones.
Oh, let me type 1 too.
There you go. People like we're behind, or they're behind us, so they're probably like, "Why is he typing 1 for?"
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they like start watching our show. We might as well watch theirs.
Hey,
and don't go over there and subscribe to their channel. They have. He was boasting today that he broke 1,000 subscribers.
Ooh, 1,000. Wow. I guess I really shouldn't be talking shit because I only have 8,000. So I don't know.
Only?
Only, yeah. Only.
How many followers do you have?
Isn't that the same thing?
40K. Well,
no,
I thought we had like.
No, I have 8,000. They're
8,000 subs. I thought we had like 40K somewhere around that.
No, not even close. Not even close. We're 8,000. Yeah, we're not that big. Yeah, sneaky pieces or sneaky pieces. They're just mad that I didn't get charged. I didn't get charged because I did nothing wrong. If you watch if you watch my videos too, you'll see like when they're carrying me over the steps, you see the big, huge White House press pass that's attached to my body.
Mm-hmm.
I was allowed to be where I was, so. Hate to say it, guys. That's why I didn't get arrested. The FBI even took my White House press pass. It's on the list of shit that they took when they went to my house. It says White House press pass.
Oh, okay. We have like 8.5.
They have 8. Oh,
no, we have like 8,500 somewhere around there.
Somewhere, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. No big deal.
Yeah, it's still good. It's still good. We get enough, you know. It's not about how much you have. It's about how good a quality stuff you put out.
I tried to explain that to Hope that she keeps saying no, size does matter. And I'm like, no, wait. She's like, okay, size does matter. I'm like, yeah, you're short. She goes, well, you're old. I'm like, okay, you will.
Right, you're very old. But you're still kicking. Right? Shoot,
I can kick him.
Right, my stepdad turned 87 today, so.
87, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, in fact, he just got home from the VA hospital, and they said he's doing better than he was last year, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, your stepdad's got to be the same age as my dad. My dad was born in 35.
Yeah, that's when he was born. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's great.
Yeah, and I asked him what he wanted for his birthday, and he's like, I don't want nothing. I don't want to do nothing. But he's been talking about this 3D printer. It's like a resin printer. So I bought him one yesterday. It'll be here Saturday. And then,
oh, wow.
So he's all excited about that. He's watching tons of YouTube videos on how to use it. But then he didn't want to go anywhere. He's like, I just want to cook some ribs. So last week I went to Costco, and we like the beef ribs. So I got us the big, huge beef ribs.
Hell yeah.
So that's what we're going to have for dinner tonight before the show.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, and he's got that Traeger barbecue just like Boats does, and like we had to call Boats one day to ask for some advice on it, and Boats gave my stepdad a whole bunch of advice. Yeah, I remember. So it was cool.
Got it working good, right?
Oh yeah, really good. Oh yeah, really.
Right
good.
On.
All right, well let's
turn the show on. People are tired of listening to us.
Right, let's go back to this old Judge Boyd. That one she's on vacation right now. But she moves pretty quick.
Are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, yeah.
Showing you a document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision.
This is great right here. You
That
get to see
document
right,
with your attorney,
right,
did you
right in their face.
understand it?
Right.
I'm also showing you what's entitled First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Reynaldo
Do I ever do
Manuel
weed?
Rodriguez who's
You mean
placed
this
on
stuff
deferred
right here?
adjudication
Yes, I do.
2020 CR 2618 for the offense of possession with intent to
Gra
deliver
doesn't.
controlled substance penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on January 25th, 2021
4 grams.
for a period of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
State?
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 19th day of May 2022 in Beer County, Texas. The defendant, Reynaldo Manuel Rodriguez, committed the offense of assault in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
That's true.
And the state would waive and evade the name.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, did you understand by
Why do
pleading
they
to
say
the
true or
violation
not
of
true instead of
condition
guilty
number
or not
1,
guilty?
Find the truth, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find
I
violation
think,
of condition
Eddie, I think
number
it's
1
like
true. Is that agreement?
you can plead guilty without the admission of guilt, so that's why they ask true or not true.
Ah, okay.
In the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And in
Makes
consideration
sense.
for the police, the state is going to take into consideration cause numbers, night mag 662373, county court cause number 685329, grand jury number 775256, and JN number 2074970.
Is that the agreement?
That's our understanding. Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court is finding violation of condition number 2 true. I'm sorry, number 1 true. Court is finding you guilty, not granting you community supervision. Sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Taking
Whoa.
consideration night mag number
5 years.
662373. County court cause number 685329. Grand jury number 775256. JN number 2074970. And the court will give you credit for
I don't
any
know,
time
Ziggy.
served.
What do
Is
you
there
What do you
anything
mean?
else
You
to
mean the
decide
drug?
With regards to sentencing.
Are you talking
Mr.
about the drug?
Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Rodriguez, you're gonna have to do better. I saw that I had ordered parenting classes, which means to me that you have children. So, when you go to prison, reflect on how to be a better person so that you can be your children's role model.
How
okay?
long did she give him again, girl?
Thank you. I will.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
5 years. 5 years.
Wow. I like
Are
how
the
she
people
gives,
here
you
on
know,
Domo Gilliland?
she gives them a little, you know, you need to learn better, you need to do better with your
Domo
life,
Gilliland?
lecture, you know.
All right, what is happening with this case?
When we conferred with the state, there was an agreed order for discovery that was signed back in May. I have given a copy of that to the state this morning. Part of the issue is that these are some
Son of a bitch, I
electronic,
just put package one
media
without taking
devices
pictures
that are in
again.
Possession of
Fucking Eddie.
possibly various agencies.
Where's Donald Gilliland?
He's in custody, Your Honor, second row.
All right, Mr. Gilliland, come on down.
You're the next contestant on The Price is Wrong.
And they are going to make an effort
Yeah.
to locate where these.
You what?
specific evidence
Door
is.
number 1, door number 2, or
So the order from the court is.
5 years in
In
prison.
addition, on the 2020 cases, we believe that there's some additional body cams and other media that hasn't
Did
been
they say what he
turned over.
did
I've
yet?
advised the state of that. I believe they have located those items in the co-defendant's case and have assured me that they'll be uploading that through the e-discovery system.
All right, and that's the.
She's got a different purse again today.
Yes.
All right, and State, this other discovery he's speaking of, when will that be uploaded or ready? Well, not uploaded, but ready for him to view?
The videos that we just found in the co-defendants.
Yes.
I'm gonna have our paralegal do it. She'll probably start it tomorrow, so we can have it uploaded this week.
All right, and then the 2022 cases, the issues with discovery that he has, when will?
We've got to contact the agency.
I don't know. I never tried hashish before. Have you, Graw?
See who has what.
Ever tried what?
Hash.
Oh my God, yeah. Probably smoked more hash than I did weed back in the day. Yeah.
Is anybody gonna have an objection to 45?
Yeah, back then you could. It was real easy to get hash or opium.
And it'll be for discovery.
That's crazy.
Smoke some of that opium, dude. Whoa, wow. You think you like gummies or whatever they're called? Holy moly!
Another judge may be here. That's my younger brother's birthday.
The only thing I've ever smoked is
All right, August 25th.
weed. I've never done anything else. Never tried anything else.
Wow. Thai stick. We used to have Thai stick flown in
Discovered on the 22 cases.
from Thailand.
Agency is that coming from?
Dude.
Really?
If you know, if you don't know, that's fine.
Yeah, those were the days, huh, Ziggy? Ziggy must be pretty old.
Fair Oaks.
Probably.
Possibly Bear County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, black tar.
All right, so
Well, that's
I
black
will
tar
see you
heroin.
all back then
But that
on August 25th.
they had
There's
like
an
a
issue with them handing that
like a
over
black
then.
tar opium
Everyone needs
also
to
that was
see
like he's 56. Okay, so they had like a black tar opium that was like real tarry, but it would, you know, smoke burn real slow.
Yes.
Uh huh. Actually, no, I don't know. But yeah.
No, I know.
I've never.
The
What,
first time
what does
I-
opium do to you? What does it make you feel like?
Oh, it's just like a really really strong marijuana. You know, just has a higher THC content.
Okay.
But the first time I tried it, I don't want to tell a story. We're watching court. I'll tell it later.
All right. That's something for tonight.
Yeah. First time I tried it, I was at a rock concert, 3-day concert. And there was a blind guy walking around with a CNI dog and had a cardboard sign hanging around his neck that said, "We need drugs." I go, "Over here."
Nice.
It was so cool. Yeah. Blind guy with the dog sign says, "We need drugs."
Right. I one day I was driving through Vegas and the guy had a sign that says, "I'm not gonna lie, I just want to buy a beer." So I gave him $1.
All right, just have a seat.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
we'll
You
see
know.
where we are. Miss Ferguson on Andrade. Where is that on the
Give him
top
credit for being upfront and honest. You know.
All right, so just remain in court. You're on the trial docket. Yes, till they
I don't know, Sneaky Pete, how would you explain the high on opium to Eddie? How would you explain it?
All right, who's on Michael Teo?
I'm
Yes, what is happening with Michael Teo?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Custody, and I think Mr. Rumor, who I was confirmed with, he just stepped out. The state, I believe, is going to be asking for a reset because this is the first setting since Mr. Teo's been back in custody. He had been a previously.
All right, Mr. Teo, come on up.
Step on up.
All right, go ahead.
We currently represent him on the failure to stop and measure aid case. I believe that there are
a rape case.
3 other felonies that are still pending.
Holy shit.
And the state, before they make an offer, was going to review all of those. And I was going to coordinate with the defendant and his family to see about representation on the other 3 felony cases.
You done
All right,
fucked
so
up.
which cases are you representing him on?
The failure to stop and measure aid.
Maybe later on.
So we have the burglary of the building. All right, and the failure to stop and render aid and felon in possession of a firearm
I believe it.
and possession cases.
Yes.
All right, and so the failure.
Yeah,
to stop
Ronnie
and render
knows.
aid was
Ronnie knows.
Indicted.
It was. To my knowledge, I haven't seen the.
Dreamy like morphine? Oh,
the new
I love
indictment
morphine.
yet.
Yeah, that's what it would do to you. It was like kind of like mescaline would just melt. You haven't done mescaline either. You would just like mellow out. Everything would be like, "Oh wow, man."
I would imagine that as of right now, I think that the discovery is all the same from the re-indictment.
That's crazy.
Nothing's changed. So I believe we have the discovery on the failure to stop and
Great.
render aid case.
You know what? Boats and Hoes
I
found me the
believe,
name of
though,
this thing
due
for me.
to
Now I
the
can't find it.
Existence of the outstanding felonies, there's a possibility for a global resolution.
And we're going to be exploring that if the court will allow us.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Teo, I'm gonna want a 45-day reset. And that's for you all to work out whatever agreement you want to work out or not work out, Mr. Teo. All right, so 45-day reset and make it a jury trial plus plea deadline date.
Pretty sure it was Boats that, or was it Hawkins that found it for me?
August 22nd?
About the barbecue?
No, it was about the name. I can't read the name on the bottom of this cup. I think it was maybe Hawkins.
All right, Mr. Teo, I'm seeing that these cases have been re-indicted, so the discovery, my understanding is still the same from your counsel. So August 22nd is gonna be your pre-deadline date and jury trial date. So if you decide not to accept the plea bargain agreement, which is fine with the court, you'll be having your jury trial that day. They will bring you dressed for trial if you're still in custody. You'll be brought over dressed in whatever clothing you have at the jail. If for any reason defense, your client wants to appear in something else, then of course you'll have to confer with your attorney on that. Defense, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know, and I'll see what I can do to help expedite that.
I understand, Your Honor. I believe the possession case, the controlled substance cases, I don't believe are indicted as of yet. So that may or may not, I guess, come into play as far as the global resolution, but we absolutely understand that the 22nd is the deadline that we're working against.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who is here on Elijah Hamilton?
Elijah.
Oh, Uncle Elijah, 105. Black Oak, Arkansas. Oh, Uncle Elijah.
Is there someone from the state available? Thank you. The court is calling 2021 CR.
Sing it, Ronnie. Sing it, Ronnie.
And 2021 CR 1.
Anchor Hawking? No, it's not Anchor Hawking at all.
State of Texas versus Elijah Hamilton. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense?
John Disregard.
And are you Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense, in each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in each of these cause numbers, and did you review that discovery with your client?
Yes, I have one.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hamilton, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State in cause number 2021 CR 10655, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, I'm unsure.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Yes, it appears that you are.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then in cause number 2021 CR 10659. Let me see. It appears that you're proceeding.
Oh, I see. BCP clicked his AOC clip.
He did what to
Hamilton, in each of the cause numbers.
He clipped his AOC where he caught AOC yesterday. It's like
oh, he made it real small?
No,
it's like a minute. Where'd it go? A minute 41 of AOC.
2021 CR 10655, you're charged with the offense of possession of controlled substance.
If court goes slow, we can pop that up.
Punishment for that offense,
yeah, we can show that, I guess.
From 180 days, 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to a $10,000 fine. And 2021 CR 10659, you're charged with the offense of tampering with the evidence with intent to impair. That's normally a third degree felony. However, the state is proceeding on an enhancement allegation, so that makes it a second degree felony. And the range of punishment.
I think they mentioned Quincy's channel because they said there was that slur there.
Fine. Did you understand those ranges
really?
of punishment and what you're charged with in each of those cause numbers?
One of the mainstream media outlets.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you.
I can't figure out the name on here. Here, I'll show you guys why.
And each of the cause numbers.
I hate it when they have logos that you can't read.
All right, for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront Any
See?
witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent.
So hard to read that.
And each of the cause numbers, did you understand by entering plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights?
So I don't know what it is.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into plea bargain agreements in each of these cause numbers? Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He is, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Hamilton, in each of the cause numbers, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter your plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you the plea bargain agreement. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Cause number 2021 CR 10655, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 months in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine. This will run concurrent with 2021 CR 10659. In 2021 CR 10659, the plea bargain agreement is that you agree that you've been previously convicted of 1 or 2 more felonies for enhancements. Punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There are no applications. This is to be concurrent with 2021 CR 10655. State will take in consideration the following cause numbers. 2021 CR 11651. County Court cause number 670-299, 681-631, 681-632. And also in cause number 2021 CR 10655, there is no application. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal in each of the cause numbers? The only things that can be appealed are written pretrial motions.
I found the
trial
name.
heard and
I
ruled
figured
upon
it
by
out.
the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then in cause number 2021 CR 10659, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And in cause number 2021 CR 10655, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's pleas?
Yes, Judge. State office states exhibit 1 and all attachments in both cost numbers.
I just watched
Mr. Hamilton,
Quincy's clip. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Is it?
Stipulation of testimony and
Yeah.
stipulations. Did you review those
Well, here, let's
documents
go
with
to
your
it.
attorney? Did you understand them and did you sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right
I hate
to
to say,
jury
you know, now that I'm used to that other judge just going so super fast, it's like addicting. Here we go.
I was right there with you. I feel. If I could just change that, we're gonna go. No, I've never felt safe here. I've never felt safe here. Can we
Did you just hear? I've never felt safe here.
that there is so much documented evidence from the day of January 6th where there were people and officers working
Listen to
with
Quincy.
these insurrectionists,
Like Antifa?
and that there were actual officers
Like it-
working with this, and we never got to the bottom of that, and we never got any
Why
answers
does she
about
keep
that.
doing this?
And then to this day, we're just supposed to pretend that that never happened.
What about
I have
Antifa?
no idea what happened to the people on the inside who were very clearly sympathetic with what was going on and opening the doors wide open for that. And I'm supposed to sit here and pretend like none of that ever happened. And then right afterwards, you have a massive, you just have this idea that throwing money at that problem is going to make it go away.
We could burn
without
some
any
buildings.
accountability. And so this is where these things are breaking down. We're not safe. And it's not just about members of Congress.
It's because he says
Black Lives Matter.
he should start off
Black
asking
Lives
her a
Matter.
question that's really nice, and
We need to
then
get to the bottom of this. So
you know.
that's what
Well, she
we're
just
doing.
walked up out of nowhere.
Let's get
So
to
he's
the
like,
bottom
oh,
of
wow.
it. Antifa, please.
Yeah, he should if he did it that way, where he asked a nice question first, maybe.
Listen to the clown. Listen, play the clown music at the end. That's great.
Oh, he plays clown music
You
at
did-
the end. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got it.
That's crazy.
That's pretty good, I have to admit.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. Who do we want to see? You know what? This judge right here wasn't taking shit from nobody. This is from 6/19. Oh wait, we just watched this one today. Never mind.
Oh, Ronnie says he sent BCP to your general Discord. Is BCP in our Discord? Oh no. Oh, maybe he meant the clip. I think he meant the clip.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'll look. Let me look. I'm sure he meant the clip.
I advise you of your
All right,
rights.
let me fast forward through all the rights. We know their rights.
Are watching this broadcast or based on those factors as well. Another justice.
It takes them
Another
forever to get
option
to that
is
part.
if you bond out, you're going to automatically waive your preliminary hearing. So keep that in mind. When you bond out, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. My intention is to take Mr. Bell first, and then we will take the female inmates, followed by the remaining male inmates. We will do Mr. Rivera last, as he is an accused fugitive
Hey, Helen.
of justice. Does everybody understand?
What's up, Helen? How you doing?
Thank you.
I don't know why my chat isn't working right anymore.
You know, it's weird. I can see it. Oh no, wait. Yeah, I can see the restream on this end, but you can't.
Oh, is it? Okay, you know, yeah, it's
Mr.
working.
Bell,
It works sometimes and
you
it
are charged with
doesn't
criminal
work.
damage to property, second degree. Do you understand your charge?
It goes back and forth. I've been having troubles with it all day.
It is accused that you broke the property of Southern Regional Hospital because you intentionally knocked over their printers, that the property was over $500 in value, and that you admitted to doing this, and you said that you did it because you were hungry. Your bond is $8,000. A condition of your bond is that you are to stay away from Southern Regional Hospital unless you are being treated by any physicians there, and you must not violate any laws of auto
You're
bond.
hungry, so you go
Are
to
you
a
able to
hospital
make
and knock
bond?
over food.
No, I don't have no money.
I think you said no. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date, as this is a felony case, will be July 6th at 8:30 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Oh, I love cat.
Yeah,
I love eating meat.
everyone else is seeing the restream except for you, Eddie. So that's all good. As long as you can see YouTube, you're seeing it.
Yeah, that's
I
why I see I
apologize
have
for
two separate
mispronouncing your
channels. Let me see.
I mean, everybody else sees it, so it's good, right?
Okay.
Turn your lights off.
Well, good. It's working
Are you
now.
miss-
I guess they fixed it.
Fonseca?
It wasn't working for a while though.
Right on. Do we have anybody over in Twitch?
I don't know. We did earlier.
Helen says she's tired. I'm tired.
Deputy
I hear someone
Reporter,
say
I
that
think I
reminds.
did the wrong person. You wanted me to do Bennett, not Bill, right?
I'm very tired too.
You wanted to wait.
Man. The
Okay.
the saloon girl on Blazing Saddles.
That's a
I'm
calla
tired. I'm so tired.
Are ya?
Miss Fonseca,
The-
you are charged with
The
criminal
saloon
damage to
girl that
property
sang on
to
Blazing
public
Saddles. What was her
drunkenness. Do you
name?
understand your charge?
You got me beat.
I can't understand you.
Bet Ronnie knows.
Yes. Your bond is $1,000, and you must not violate any laws of auto bond. Are you able to make bond?
$1,000.
Yes. This is a misdemeanor offense, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Yes. Thank you. Please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Like, get the fuck out of my courtroom.
Lily Von Stoop. Yes, Lily Von Stoop.
Lily Von Stoop.
We may have to clip. We may have to clip that song. I want. Can we play clip
Ma'am,
out
you're
of
charged with
Blazing
criminal
Saddles?
trespass. Do you understand
Probably
your
not.
charge?
Probably not.
Yes, ma'am. Your bond is $3,500. A condition of that bond
Let's see if
is
I
you
can
must stay away
find
from
it.
Tanya Hub. You shall not return to 5730 Antelope Trail in Atlanta, Georgia. It was indicated. What? Do not interrupt me. And if anybody else can hear me, and I know the deputies have told y'all that because they know I don't like to be interrupted. Let me finish everything I have to say. And then, yes, ma'am, you can ask me whatever question you want to
Don't
ask
piss
me.
off
But
the
I'm going to finish
judge.
what I have to say first, okay? Because I may give you
Yep,
information
get
to
up in
answer
my
your
grill.
question. And that's for everybody else that can
Madeline
hear me.
Kahn.
Pass the message along.
Dude, this judge is
So,
awesome.
as I stated,
I love this
you are
judge.
charged with criminal trespass. You are to stay away from Tanya Huff. You shall not return to 5730 Antelope Trail in Atlanta, Georgia. It was indicated on the warrantless arrest affidavit that that is your residence. As such, I will allow you to go with the sheriff's escort for the limited purpose of retrieving your personal property. However, you may not go back to that property for any other purpose or any other reason until this matter is resolved or until this condition is modified by another judge. You must also not violate any laws of bond. Are you able to make bond? I have appointed an attorney to represent you. This is a misdemeanor offense. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? So you'll sign your waiver and leave it with the deputy. Now, you still have a question for me?
No, never mind, Judge.
You
I'm
said
good.
no, ma'am?
She's like,
Okay,
I don't want
have
to
a good
piss you
day.
off anymore. Whoa, this girl got fucked up. Look at her head. Oh, she's one of these nice girls that have a face tattoo, too.
Are you Miss Maltos Vargas?
I don't find that sexy on a woman. Do you, girl?
You were charged with DUI, let's say, reckless driving, and violation of the seatbelt law. Do you understand your charges?
Oh, that's why she got in a crash, probably.
Are you saying yes or just nodding? Okay. And I speak elevated. I'm not angry. I'm speaking loudly because you can't hear me, I guess, because I'm not hearing you. So was that a yes? Okay, you said you do understand your charges. For the DUI, your bond is $7,000. For the reckless driving, your bond is $1,500. And for the seatbelt charge, your bond is $500, for a total of $9,000. You must also not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Man, she looked like she'd been out chasing parked
Which
cars.
means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Thank you. You're
This
welcome.
judge does not fuck around.
Are you Harlan Scott?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Do we have Harlan Scott? That's a male inmate?
Yes, ma'am, it's a male.
Okay, it was indicated on the warrantless arrest affidavit that there was a female.
No, ma'am.
Okay, give me a second.
If you want him, I can bring him up, ma'am.
Maybe they identified as a female.
Thank you, though.
All right, Eddie, I sent you that link to from the Blazing Saddles thing. You might look at it. It's like 4 minutes. I think we can play that. I've seen other people on YouTube on here play stuff like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but then the minute you play it, then they ban you from being monetizing that video.
Oh, okay. All
I do
right,
want y'all to
never
listen
mind.
because a lot of these people were out of order, but I put them back in alphabetical order.
I'll look
Okay,
at it,
deputies?
if we can.
So my first one is going to be Jamal Bennett.
All right.
I mean, it's on YouTube,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah, but then they're not they demonetize you for it.
Mr. Bennett,
Oh, okay.
you are charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree.
Any
you understand your
commercial-
charge?
If we play a video like that, girl, what they do then is what they'll do is then they add a commercial to your video, and all that money goes to Blazing Saddles.
Oh.
So if
okay.
you worked your ass off for a 4-hour-long video, then you played a 30-second clip from Blazing Saddles, then even though you spent 4 hours on it, Blazing Saddle gets every single penny from that video.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not worth it then. Never mind. Yeah.
Your bond,
But if you're not monetized,
okay.
you don't have to
Your
worry
bond
about
is
it.
$10,000. You are to stay away from Steve Hicks. You shall not return to 7384 Bloomstone Drive in Riverdale, Georgia, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
No.
This is a misdemeanor offense. Your next court date will be July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
She
Yes,
does not
sir.
play around.
Next should be Anthony Blair.
There.
Mr. Blair,
I
you
got
are
him.
charged
I got
with
him.
an improper
Look at the
turn in the
dreads on this
intersection,
guy.
concealing the identity of a
Oh, we
motor
had our-
vehicle.
I got him.
No insurance, possession of
got-
marijuana less
I got
than
him.
an
I got
ounce,
him.
Thank you,
and a
Draw.
violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, which is a felony. Do you understand your charges?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Your bond on the improper turn is $500. Your bond on the tag charge is $500. Your bond on the insurance charge is $1,000. On the misdemeanor possession of marijuana charge, your bond is $1,500. And on the felony drug charge, your bond is $6,000 for a total of $9,500. And you must not violate the laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Nope.
Yes, Your Honor, can I change the address? Will you be mailing something? Cause
I won't mail
when
you
I was
anything, but you can definitely, once you bond out, you can let the jail or whoever know your new address and they can mail you whatever information you need. You talking about to get your court dates and things like that?
Oh, Hope got him before I did. Good job, Hope. Good shot.
Good job.
Where I was at, so
She's like, I ain't gonna mail you shit. You ain't my boyfriend.
Yes,
You ain't my
you can
lover.
definitely send that wherever you
You
need to
ain't
go.
my Valentine.
You said you're gonna bond out, but in case you don't, your next court date will be July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
I said good day.
You're
I said
welcome.
good day. Sneaky Pete, can you control your girls,
Next
Sneaky
should be-
Pete?
now we should
Trying to
be Mr.
control your
Brown.
girls, will you?
Right? Control that female.
Control them women, son.
Let's see.
Mr. Brown, you're charged with simple assault and battery
Simple assault. What's the difference between assault and
as a
simple
separate
assault?
charge. Do you understand your charges?
I understand the battery, but I don't understand the assault.
The assault charges accuse that you did show your handgun from your waistband, which placed another person, Keyshawn Porter, in reasonable apprehension of immediately receiving a violent injury. And that's what the warrant states. For each of those charges, your bond is $3,500 each. So that makes a total of $7,000. A condition of your bond is that you should stay away from Keyshawn Porter, and you must not have any violations of laws while you are out on bond. Do you live with Mr. Porter?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay, so you should have no contact with him. Are you able to make bond?
Yeah.
You say yes, ma'am?
Oh, yeah. Simple means
Okay.
no injuries.
These are
Okay.
misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day. Brian Butler.
Let them girls hang up on you like that. Pete, they're hanging up on you? Oh, man, I'd be, you got to keep them girls in line.
Yeah, you do.
You hanging up on me.
So
Yeah.
you were charged with sexual
Hang up on
battery,
me.
burglary, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Do you understand your charges?
No, Judge, I don't.
You said yes, ma'am. You do not have a bond. Should you get a bond, a condition of your bond will be to stay away from the alleged minor victim, Mr. Simpson. But as I stated, you do not have a bond at this time. These are felony offenses, and some of them are, and your next court date will be July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
Them girls gang up on Pete. Oh, well, that's good then. Never mind.
He likes it. He likes
I
it.
can't argue with that. Let them gang up.
Right? He likes it when they gang up on him.
I know.
Alrighty.
Arnett Dotson should be next.
No, Your Honor, they're not. Where did my marker go now? Oh, there it is. You know what? I don't feel like doing any more
Or you were
eBay
charged with
today.
DUI and open container. Do you understand your charges?
I'm done with eBay for the day.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your bond on the DUI is $5,000. Your bond on the open container is $500 for a total of $5,500. Condition of your bond that you must not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please sign your waiver. Leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
They're violent. You know what? I like violent women though. I love it when they.
Kevin Jackson
abuse
should
me.
be next.
Don't you love it when a girl abuses you, girl?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that. You notice I don't have any bottom teeth? What does that tell you? True story. After the bar closed, we're at the restaurant, like Denny's, you know?
Jackson, you're charged with violating a family violence
I'm like,
order.
this is the last time you drink mezcal with
Do you
me,
understand
girl.
your charges?
Oh, that mezcal.
No, ma'am. I don't understand how.
It is alleged that you committed the offense of violating a family violence order when you knowingly and in a non-violent manner violated the terms of a family violence order bond condition.
You knowingly.
Where you returned to the residence once you were released from jail. That you were issued a bond order on July 8th, 2021 in reference to a prior offense against the victim, Miss Dixon.
Where did you get that
and that you
turtleneck?
returned to that location.
I don't know.
That's the allegation. The only reason you're going to get a bond of these charges is because they did not charge it as a felony. But I'm giving you notice that I don't play about the orders. So if you violate it again, I don't care about Father's Day. I don't care about anything else. You will not get a bond, and you will face a felony charge. Do you understand?
I'm giving you notice. I don't care about what you say.
The bond for each of these charges is $10,000 for a total of $20,000 bond.
She does not
You
play.
shall stay away from Miss Dixon. You shall not return to the address on Trafalgar Way, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. I asked you some $10,000 each for misdemeanor charges.
Yes, because you have violated the order of a previous judge. As I stated, I would rather you not be out because you obviously don't care about the orders of the court. But because I have to give you a bond, and we're not arguing, but you asked a question.
Talking back. Keep talking back. Go ahead. Keep talking. Keep talking.
I'm going to give you a bond that encourages you not to violate the order of the court because my job is to make sure that you do not reoffend.
Oh, this is great.
And that you do not cause any strife or trauma to the
Say
alleged
something.
victim.
Say something. Say something.
If there's something that's changed with her,
I gotta cut
you
her
need to
later
let
on.
somebody know, and your lawyer can get the order modified. But until then, do not violate my order. Do you understand? We're not arguing. I answered your question, and that's that. What else do you want to say?
I just want to say the only thing I want to say, Your Honor, I'm kind of like I'm lost about this because I actually got arrested and I've been to court on these charges. I thought these charges was handled. I didn't know it was.
So then, what I want you to do, since you are confused, talk to your lawyer because maybe it's resolved. Maybe that bond condition is no longer in place. Maybe the officers got it wrong. From where I look, you are in violation of Judge Gardner's order.
You know what, Gra? Everybody behind this guy right now is like, please shut up. I gotta go next.
Dude,
just shut the fuck up.
I know. You never don't say a damn thing except yes, Your Honor. I don't care who you are. Talk to your lawyer. If you ain't got enough common sense to talk to your lawyer about it, you're
Right?
done.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is just
I wouldn't be surprised if she revokes his bond. So I'm like, you know what? Never mind. Go back in there.
she just said she can't, remember? She's like, I wish I could, but I can't.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I see. No, that's just at the request of the prosecutor. She can overturn the prosecutor's request. So yeah,
That's true. Oh my god, this is too funny.
Which means you have a likelihood of violating mine, which is why your bond is what it is. Okay? Be thankful you get one because I could have made it 15, 20, whatever, but I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're not going to violate my order again. If you really are confused, now there's no more confusion, right, sir? Have a good day.
I said have a good day.
Oh my gosh. You know where that's from? That's from that 70s show. I said good day.
Deputy, let him know.
I
Can you
said
ask
good
him,
day,
does
sir.
he want to waive his preliminary hearing?
Jackson, you want to weigh your preliminary here? Yes or no?
Yes or
His
no?
court date is gonna be scheduled for July
Just a
5th
second, Your Honor, I'll
at
ask
8:30
you.
a.m.
What he said?
Your court date
No,
is
no,
July,
no.
he wants to have a show, and we're not gonna give him a show. His court date is gonna be July 5th at 8:30 a.m.
You know, we gotta go find the July 5th court date. Oh no, there was no court
absolutely.
there was no court that day because the judge is out of there's no court that day. Shit.
Oh man,
I would want to watch that one. Oh my god.
that was great. So she's asking the guy on the camera, and he's relating. He's like, "Dude, do you want to skip your whatever?"
Right? Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. Which one do you think would be better? Should we use the Gene what's his name one?
Mr. Walker, I am extraordinarily busy, sir. I just wanted to ask.
We're gonna get in trouble for
all
this.
rights, etc. Delicata, clear as crystal. You stole fish now has to be washed
Where is
and
it?
sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Should I use that good day, sir? For this?
Yes.
Or
Yeah. Oh God. What's the other one?
Good day, sir.
Hold on.
Say good day.
Or this one, yeah.
I said good day.
Or that one. Like a
No,
I said good day.
no, Gene Wilder,
The Gene
definitely
Wilder
Gene
one?
Wilder.
Okay, we'll do the
Oh,
Gene
yeah.
Wilder one.
Please make sure Mr. Jackson knows his court date is July 5th at 8:30 a.m. He has an attorney. He can speak.
Be right there. Go, let's go. She done made him out of. Let's go. Back to the house unit. House unit 1, 301.
Everybody waiting in line is like, fuck, now the judge is pissed.
I know,
There's too
right?
much background noise from him. It's real easy to talk hard to a woman behind a
Yeah, everybody in
video
chat.
screen.
Should we use
That's
Gene
real
Wilder or
easy
should
to
we
do.
use that 70
I'm
show?
so impressed by people who can jump hard to a woman over a video screen. That's so impressive.
She's calling him a little bitch is what she's
Oh, he
calling
is
him right
just
now.
so impressive to me that he can jump hard to a woman behind a video screen.
Oh my gosh, we gotta
That's just
share
noted
this
for the
one.
record.
We gotta
Are you
share
Mr.
this clip,
McCoy?
bro.
Yeah.
Good morning to you, sir. You look
Oh,
like, oh
man.
Lord, I hope he ain't made her mad. I'm good, okay? We good, Mr. McCoy. All right.
He's like, phew.
But all that jumping hard is very interesting when I'm miles away and it's a computer screen, right? But that's
Keyboard
just something
warrior.
We all right. Mr. McCoy, you are
Maybe-
charged with DUI
Eddie,
and
maybe you can
impeding
use-
traffic. Do you
oh,
understand your
wait.
charges, sir?
What's that?
Use a little clip out of that I'm so tired clip that I sent you too. No hurry when you have some time.
All right, yeah, I'll have to work on it. I'll have to work on it.
Yeah. You put those on your hotkey, right? And you just hit a hotkey.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
For the
ma'am.
DUI, your bond is $7,000. For the traffic charge, your bond is $500 for a total of $7,500. And you must not violate any laws while out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Make bond that automatically.
Yes, sir.
goes away, right? Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail, okay? You're welcome.
So that's like
Cedric Mitchell.
she's saying average is 15% over there, so that's quite a bit of money.
15.
Yeah, 15%.
Right.
I said good day, sir.
So he got
Sir, you are
arrested for
charged with
arguing
theft by
on
receiving stolen
online.
property.
No. She was just saying that he was arguing with her right now and calling him a little bitch for arguing with the judge over the computer is what she's saying.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. She's like, he's trying to act all bad. She's like, trying to talk shit to not talk shit, but she's like trying to argue with the woman online over a computer.
Oh.
Because I ain't in front of
Okay.
him.
Oh.
Basically, she said, if I was there, I would whoop your fucking ass. She just didn't
Yeah.
say it that way. Basically, is what she said.
Yeah. I'd kick you right in the vagina.
A felony count on the violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and obstruction
Damn.
of an officer. Do you understand your charges, sir?
You're in trouble.
You say yes? Okay. For each of your charges, I've given you a bond of $7,000 each for a total of $35,000.
Wow.
And you shall not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
No.
Yes, Your Honor.
These are felony offenses, so I'm going to go ahead and set your court date for July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Have a good day.
I said good day.
You're welcome.
Right? Dude, I thought the other judges were ruthless. This chick just really don't play.
No, because he has felonies. I know some judges let them waive their felony preliminary hearing, but I don't do that. So I went ahead and set them down for July 6th.
You don't know me.
35K, hell, that's over $5,000.
Right?
At
That's a lot of
15%, yeah.
Oh shit, I lost.
You don't get that back.
Damn it, I lost my connection again to restream.
Oh, no.
I gotta go open up something. I gotta try and get back the stream again. I gotta go watch it, so I gotta have it double dip in here. I gotta try and get back the there we go stream again. I gotta go watch. There we go. Now I can see a sneaky peek.
Are you Mr. Nicholson?
He said you gotta be like that with these gangsters.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Sir, you are charged with criminal trespass and a violation of the family violence order. Do you understand your charges?
Yes.
For each of your charges, I'm going to give you a bond of $10,000 for a total of $20,000. You must stay away from
he broke his probation.
You should not return to 435 Churchill Court in Jonesboro, and you must not violate any laws out on bond. Do you understand?
Gene Wilder it is.
Yes.
Are you
He
able to
violated
make
his bond.
Yes.
These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I need you to do, Mr. Nicholson, is sign the waiver, leave it with the deputies. Your next court date will come in the mail.
Don't cross the streams.
Now, if you're still getting mailed that Churchill Court address, you need to change your address because you cannot go back there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
original
Have a good day.
Ghostbusters. That's the real Ghostbusters, not this new fake woke stuff they had recently.
Like it works.
I didn't even watch the new one.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, you, Mr.
No, me neither.
Give me 1 second, sir.
I'm tired. Let's face it, everyone below the waist is kaput.
Right.
Yes. Oh, everything below the waist is kaput.
Oh, know him?
Sir, you were charged with DUI and 3 counts of open container
Oh, that's
violation.
another one
Do
I
you
gotta
understand your
download.
charges?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
$6,500.
For the DUI, your bond is $5,000. For the open containers, they're $500 each, for a total of $6,500. You shall not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a lot of bond money. I'd stay
These
in
are
jail.
misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yeah. That's like a little over $1,000
Okay,
bucks.
please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. I have appointed an attorney to represent you.
I'll sit in jail for
Your
a
next
week.
court date will come in the mail. Have a good day,
Free
sir.
food, free lunch, free
welcome.
everything.
Devin Phillips.
Free cable TV. Why not stay in jail for a couple days?
Yeah. Free hots in a cot.
Yep.
Mr. Phillips, you were charged with criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. Do you understand your charges?
Uh-oh,
Your bond
white
is
boy.
$15,000.
Oh,
You should
yeah.
stay away from Linda Whitworth, and you should not return to 1061 Evans Drive in
Damn it,
Riverdale,
Linda.
Georgia. You must not violate any laws
Damn it,
out on
Linda.
bond. Do you understand those special conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't hear you, sir.
I do.
This charge is a felony offense. I'm going to set your court date for July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. And I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Have a good day.
Great. Now every time she says that, I hear, I said good day.
I said good day.
all I'm gonna hear now, and she says it every time.
Are you Mr. Sanders? So you were charged with giving
Your
a
first
false
name, Colonel?
name, driving on a suspended license, and open container violation. Do you understand your charges?
Oh, Pete said you only get 2 hots in Georgia.
On the giving a false name, your bond is $3,500.
Still 2 free meals.
On the driving on a suspended license, your bond is $1,500. And on the open container, your bond is $500 for a total of $5,500. You shall not violate any laws of out on bond. Are you able to make bond, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
I know the last time I went to jail, which
These
was
are
like
misdemeanor offenses, which
2001.
means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do
It
you wish
was,
to waive a preliminary hearing?
You got 1 hot meal, but you got 3 meals in total.
Thank
You got
Please
breakfast,
sign your
lunch, and
waiver.
dinner,
Leave
but
it with
only
the
dinner
deputy.
was
Your next
hot.
court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Right.
And breakfast was at like 4 o'clock in the morning
Damon
because
Scarborough.
so that way the people that had to go to court could eat.
How you doing?
I'm well.
So
How are
they'd
you?
wake you up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like it's 4 o'clock in the goddamn.
Oh, wait a minute.
Mr.
What was
Scarborough,
that
you were
guy's last
charged
name?
with trafficking in
What's his,
marijuana. Do you
what's his
understand
last
your
name?
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I don't know. I didn't go back far enough.
Damon Scarborough.
Scarborough.
Oh, Scarborough. Okay. It's
I'm
like,
well. How are
what?
you?
You thought you heard Thornburg?
Yeah.
Mr. Scarborough, you were charged with trafficking in marijuana. Do you understand your charge?
Yes.
So this is not a charge I'm able to give you a bond on. So there is no bond in this matter. Your next court date is going to be July 6th at 8 a.m. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. He or she can try to work out a bond for you, but I'm not authorized to give you a bond, okay?
Yeah, sounds
Have
like
a
you
good
better
day.
have some money. That or you got to know how to do haircuts or be able to do a job in prison, you know, to trade for soups. Or be good at gambling.
Are you Mr. Scott? Harlan Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do me a favor and fix your shirt for me.
So I don't want to
Give
see
me
your
one
hairy
second.
ass chest, motherfucker. Put that shit
Yeah.
away.
Where's your turtleneck?
It's like, well, ma'am, if you wouldn't have gave me pants for a shirt, don't those look like they just took some pants and re-sewn them or something?
Yeah, just turn them upside down.
Yeah. It's like, Judge, it's just a pair of pants. What do you expect me to do?
Mr. Scott, you were charged with battery as a battery family violence as a misdemeanor. However, you have a previous conviction for this charge, and by law, your second offense of battery family violence makes it a felony. So you are charged with felony battery family violence.
Wow.
Your next court date is going to, your bond is $10,000. I am giving you a bond on that count though. Your condition of your bond is you should stay away from Courtney Nash, and you shall not return to
Maybe,
5240 Joan of Arc Place, and you must not violate any laws about a bond. Do you understand those special conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court, are you able to make bond?
Yes.
Your next court date will be July 6th.
Damn, look at the nails on the
I
judge.
have appointed an attorney to represent you. As stated, this is a felony, so please do not violate any of these special conditions because that can make this felony matter even more.
Hope you know you like a
compounded and
hairy
more
chest
serious.
on
Do
a
you
man.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, have a good day. Marquez Spear,
Ma'am.
give me 1 moment.
I think we have a hope too, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch for hope.
Mr. Spear, you're charged with driving on a suspended license and failure to have your headlights on. Do you understand your charges? You said yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
For the driving on a suspended license, your bond is $1,500. For the failure to have your headlights on, your bond is $500.
Hey, guys and girls, if you got a suspended license and you're still gonna drive, turn on your fucking headlights. Right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. There was a time when I drove with a suspended license, right? I got too many speeding tickets, so they suspended my license. Every day before I got in my car, I made sure every single headlight worked, every brake light, every turn signal, every tail light. I made sure everything worked. But not these people.
Right.
Oh, I got a suspended license. I'm gonna drive without my lights on.
One of the first Harleys I got, I rode with a Honda 350 license plate on it for like a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
So you make sure everything's straight up legal, legit that you can afford to or whatever, you know.
Yeah, so you don't
But-
get pulled over.
Exactly.
You know, I wish I get someone to give
Yeah.
Eddie Block show a shout
You know,
out. when they get
because
up
like
there.
you, yeah, because I didn't have like a driver's license, I didn't have insurance, I didn't have, you know, all of that. So I took a tag off one of my old Hondas and put on there.
Could you imagine that, Sneaky Pete? Hey, Sneaky Pete, if you know somebody gets arrested, say, hey, when you go up in front of the magistrate, say, yo, what's up? I want to dedicate this to EddieBlockFilms and gra.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would be
They just come on
amazing,
there and
right?
Or they just come on there and do the sheepdog wave and say, "Hi, Hope. Hi,
Right.
hi Hope. Hi, Hope."
No, you tell them, Sneaky Pete, I'll give them $100 if they do that, and then we could go to Bishop and Bishop and Clayton and be like, yeah, look what we got, boy. Everybody do a
Credence and
shout out to
Bishop.
you. Credence and Bishop,
Yeah,
yeah.
we may have to up it. We may have to offer to pay part of their bond if they would do that. I'll try.
Right.
Sneaky Pete's like, all right. Sneaky Pete, next time he goes to jail, he's like, can I get Judge so-and-so over here?
Right? Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. That would totally be awesome. I would love that.
$1,000. You shall not violate any laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond?
No.
These are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Watch this. Sneaky Pete's gonna get arrested just so he can go
Thank you.
on there
Please
and be
sign your
like,
waiver, leave it with
Yeah.
the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Go to list to the police officer. Oh, I didn't know you was a cop. Sorry.
yeah.
The badge should have gave it
Mr.
away.
Thompson should be next.
Oh my god, I can see Sneaky Pete now trying to get arrested.
Mr.
God, come on,
Thompson,
cops, can't you
good afternoon.
take me
are
to
charged
jail?
with Expired tag, violation
You know
of
what?
civil law,
And if we'll
possession of
double
marijuana
the
less than
bounty if you wear a
and
Eddie
possession of
Block's
drug-related
Films
objects.
T-shirt.
Do you understand your
Oh,
charges?
even better. Oh wait, they don't wear T-shirts in there. They gotta wear their jail clothes.
Oh, that's right. Damn it. Well, maybe so you
For
can get
the
it on
tag,
the
your bond is 500.
live
For the
cam from the
seatbelt,
police
your bond is
officer.
500. For the marijuana
Right.
charge, your bond is 1,500. And for the drug-related object charge, your bond is 1,500 for a total of $4,000. You must not violate laws out on bond. Are you able to make bond? This is a misdemeanor offense, or these are misdemeanor offenses, which means you have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please sign your waiver, leave it with the deputy. Your next court date will come in the mail. Have a good day.
Sneaky Pete's like, I love you guys, but I'm not going to jail for you.
But I don't love you guys that much, right?
Christian Torrance.
Oh my god.
Smart man there, Pete. Smart man.
Mr. Torrance, you are charged with a felony count of violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act and possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime.
I gotta find a way to
Do
make
you
a
understand
friend
your
with somebody
charges?
from the jail over there. Hey, Sneaky Pete, if you know anybody
Your
that works
bond
at
for
that
each
jail,
charge
hook
is
me up.
$8,000 for a total of $16,000 in your bond.
I'll
You
tell
must not
the
violate any
officer,
laws
hey,
out
if you
on
tell
bond. Are you
them,
able
I'll
to
give them
make
$100
bond?
towards their bond. You know somebody would
Can't
do it
hear
for
you,
$100.
Mr. Torrance.
Okay, Eddie, pause it a second. Pause it a
These
minute.
are felony
Wait, hold on.
offenses.
All right, it's paused.
So what we can do is like, because you're talking about sending some letters to the girls in prison or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, send them a card or a sticker or whatever. With each letter you send them, the Eddie Block film card.
Uh-huh.
And if they'll show that on their phone or something like that, we'll put some money on their books. We can work that out somehow. Where if they do that, we'll send you some money. Quid pro quo, sweetheart.
Right. The only thing is, these people, they just got arrested like within a few hours, so we wouldn't be able to send them anything in the mail. Is the problem?
No, I know, but I'm talking about the other thing where we're kind of looking for the girls that are incarcerated for years that have people. If she could take a picture on her phone and send it back to you of your card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like people in jail.
Yeah.
Because they got take a picture in jail. Here's a picture with the Eddie Block film card.
Yeah, and then send it back to you on message, and we'll show that they did that they got the card that's legit, and we'll put some money on their books.
We'll put some money on their books, and we'll send maybe some people to Richard Hertz will probably write them a letter.
Right on.
Right.
Yeah.
Richard Hertz. Richard Hertz would be like, hey.
I don't know if I want to get a letter from Richard Hertz or not.
He's mailed me stuff before. He's mailed me stuff before.
Has he? Okay.
So yeah, he said he sometimes manufactures shirts. So he made me a Trump 2024 shirt and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's cool. He's got some cool stuff going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. That's
That was
that's
just-
something to think about. Remind me about that so I don't forget.
Yeah, that's just a thought. Just a thought.
Yeah.
We can incorporate that somehow.
Somehow.
As such, I'm setting your court date for July 6th at 8:30 a.m. in room 201. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Have a good day.
I said good day.
Thank you.
It's a good day.
Who's up next?
Mr. Woodger,
Widger.
you're charged with failure to have your headlights on. and
Another
possession
one.
of a firearm by a convicted felon. Do you understand your charges?
Okay, lesson number 2 of the day, folks. If you're gonna drive with a gun in your freaking waistband, that's illegal. Turn on your headlights. How do we have to tell you this? How do you not know to turn on your fucking headlights?
That's it. Got to be in. What are you in here for? I got pulled over for no headlights. That they put you in jail for that? Well, yeah, I had a Glock in my cock.
I had a Glock in my cock. Oh my gosh.
For the headlight charge, your bond is $500. For the weapons charge, your bond is $8,000 for a total bond of $8,500. And the condition of your bond is that you must not violate any laws out on bond. Do you
Wow.
understand the special conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you
I
able
mean,
to
how
make
hard
bond?
is it to turn on your headlights?
As stated, these are felony offenses, or one of them is. As such, I've set your court date for July 6th at 8 a.m. in room 201. Have a good day.
I said good day.
That should be it, right, Sarge, except for Mr. Rivera? Okay.
Man, she's got a packed courtroom today. Is this like on a Monday?
6/18. So what day was 6/18? Let's see. 6/18 was actually on a Saturday.
Damn. Oh wow.
Yeah, that was a Saturday. It's like this. These are like almost like night court judges, maybe, you know? I think.
Right.
Because they gotta arraign them the minute they get arrested so they can bond out. Like in
Yeah,
California.
they probably.
Yeah.
Probably a small jail with a big turnover, you know, so they got to get them out of there after Friday night, get ready for Saturday night.
Possible, I don't know. Like in California, you automatically have a bond when you're arrested. They already have the numbers.
Good afternoon, Mr.
You don't
Rivera.
have to go to an arraignment like this.
I'm here to do what's called a extradition hearing. All of the rights that I advised everyone of earlier also apply in your case, but your hearing is a little bit different from the other first appearance hearings that have just taken place. You do not have charges pending against you here in Clayton County, but rather you've been brought to court today because you have charges pending against you in another state, and they're requesting that you return to that state to answer to these charges. Are you in fact William Rivera?
Yes,
Do you already have an attorney representing you?
I'm working on that.
Okay. You're being charged with being a fugitive from justice as follows. It is alleged that you entered and remain in the state of Georgia knowing that you, William Rivera, are wanted by Tulane County in Visalia, California for
Tulare.
inflicting corporal injury on your spouse.
Tulare.
And they are saying that they will fully extradite you. This hearing is being conducted pursuant to OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13. As you have heard, it is alleged that you are charged with inflicting injury on
That's
your
where
spouse
Debbie Ann
in
is from,
California,
Visalia.
and they want to have you return. Now you have a choice as to whether you wish to contest extradition or you wish to waive extradition and voluntarily return to that state. If you decide that you want to contest extradition, the court can commit you to the county jail for an initial period of 30 days. During that time, a warrant will be prepared under the governor's signature to extradite you to the other state. The court will consider allowing you to post bond, but it's the policy of this court, whenever we have people who are alleged fugitives, we do not post bond or set bonds in that matter. So I have denied bond in this matter. If you do not wish to voluntarily return to California, you may file what's called a writ of habeas corpus to contest the extradition. Now, the writ of habeas corpus can
Damn
only contest
again.
4 things. Number 1, whether extradition documents are in order on their face. Number 2, whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in the state of California. Number 3, whether you are the named person in the request for the extradition. And 4, whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. You cannot contest the issue of your guilt or innocence in this state. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, you are entitled to the advice of counsel in deciding whether you want to contest extradition or waive and voluntarily return. If the state is unable to extradite you within 30 days, you may be committed to the jail for an additional 60 days while awaiting extradition. If the extradition is not completed in 90 days, then you will be released. However, if you wish to voluntarily waive extradition and return to the state of California, then that state has to come get you in a more reasonable time frame. So, do you wish to waive extradition and voluntarily return to the state of California to answer to these charges?
I want the one where it takes less time for me to go to California.
You wish to waive?
Yes.
Okay. The deputy in front of you is going to give you several original documents that need to be signed. Once you sign them, he will return them to me and I will sign them and we'll get the process moving to get you extradited. Okay, Mr. Rivera?
I have one question. I mean, I don't know if you can answer it or not. I'm working on getting a lawyer over there to get the warrant, to get a bond on the warrant. Is that possible?
I'm not sure about the laws in California, but I will say if you do have a lawyer to represent you, he or she will know what your options are, and he or she will be able to communicate with the jail and whoever else to expedite this even faster. We've seen that happen in different cases, but I am not sure what you are eligible for in the state of California.
Grow's a proud daddy.
Okay, you're welcome. It looks like that's all
God,
we have
can
for
you
today.
imagine?
Is that what you
I
all
don't
have?
want to
Nobody else
think
is
about
waiting
it.
on me?
I couldn't even imagine what they look like.
That's gonna be everybody on
Oh, I know, right?
Okay, we're gonna try
Poor
to do
kid.
quickly tomorrow too, because I know tomorrow's Father's Day and I know y'all want to get out and celebrate and relax.
Oh, we appreciate it, Your Honor. You have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, that's it for this one. You know what, guys? I've got a lot of stuff to do, so I think that's gonna be it for today. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think? What do you
Yeah,
guys
right
think?
on. I say good day, sir.
I said good
Can
day.
You get that? Have you got that on the hotkey yet?
Not yet. I got to download it and edit and stuff like that. It takes a while.
Okay.
And
Yeah, me too. I got some stuff around here I got to get done too.
And by the way, guys, yesterday when Gra left on Discord, I was gonna wait to finish one last case, and I hit close. Thought I hit close on Discord. I hit close on the program that runs the stream. So I'm sorry we left without saying goodbye yesterday. But sorry about that, guys. Mandy, wasn't it Mandy? Mandy that was like, Eddie, what happened to Eddie's stream? I can't find it anymore. And you're like,
Oh yeah,
turn
she
it
was
off.
like, "What?" She was like, "Did I get kicked out?" And you said, "No, I hit the wrong button."
Yeah, I did, honestly. So sorry about that yesterday, guys and girls. But you
Yeah.
know, it is what it is. So you guys have a great day, and we'll be back on later tonight. And we're gonna have a lot of people on tonight. Our show. We're gonna do a whole bunch of different streamers showing up.
Oh, that's right. That's tonight, isn't it? That'll be
Yes.
great.
So that'll be cool. We'll
Yeah,
do the
everybody be
normal
sure
news.
and tune in for that.
Yeah, we'll
Be
do
like the first one of those, right? The first show of that.
It's gonna be the very first one. I think we're calling it Thursday Night Hype or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, everybody tune in. Absolutely.
We're gonna have
Come
only
hang out in
Mr. Bill.
Discord. Come over to Eddie's Discord. You can come into my Discord. You know, not hard to find.
Nope. We'll be here. So, all right, everybody, have a good day. We'll see you later on. I said good.